in the current climate. Because we've both been entranced by Britain's meltdown into pretty much everything David Icke has ever said has proved to be true.
Yeah.
MPs are just strangling kids in front of other kids at sex parties, and the news isn't making that big a deal of it.
It was front page news yesterday that there's just an investigation. Like they're trying real hard. Like, hey, look, it's just a routine. We heard some stories about men strangling children, so we're investigating enough that you, a reputable newspaper, can put this in the newspaper. Like it's that big of a story, but it looks like from looking at the papers today that was one and done. That you get. They told you about it yesterday, but
the front page of today's Guardian here, has it made it that? No.
Nope.
There you go.
ISIS has beheaded another an aid worker, which is actually a good move by ISIS because I found that the journalists were actually they weren't upsetting me at all.
Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived was who I went to journalism school with. That was how I remembered.
And the Mirror, who I believe broke the story.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's all.
The journalist has disappeared. He's been strangled.
Yeah, he's been beheaded by ISIS.
Who's our biggest MP? Get him to strangle this adult journalist in front of the other journalists.
Yeah. Turns out it's just a method. It's a method of governance.
It's traced back to Pliny the Elder. His treatise on strangulation is good government.
Yeah. Yeah, it's shocking to me, but there you go. But it's all about be afraid of Islam.
Be afraid of Muslims.
Yeah, yeah, not the guy that controls your life. Yeah, no, there was, and it's all connected to the political party that's in power right now.
Yeah, I don't see that I should be afraid of Muslims any more than Hindus. In a way, it's quite a good propaganda campaign to go, oh, Muslims. It's like fucking billions of Muslims. If they wanted to cause trouble, there'd be some trouble on the streets.
I just realized you said Hindu and not Hindu.
Hindus do cause more trouble.
I would be more afraid. Like if I walked into a room to play a show, if it was all Muslim, I'd be fine. Yeah, that's great. But if it was all Hindus,
a Muslim Hindu would be the ideal Hindu. As a club comedian, they're not laughing, but no one can tell.
I was just in the Middle East, and that place, you could get in a fight a day if you wanted to.
Yeah, well, they have. I mean,
but that's the thing that I said. Like the heat is the biggest problem at the World Cup.
what they could do, they usually do at World Cup and flood it with whores. They pretty much just bus them in. They bust the homeless out of the Olympics and the World Cups and stuff. So like in what was the Olympics they had in Australia, Sydney? They just threw the fucking homeless out to the desert in buses and just left them there. And they try to consciously expand their whore population for FIFA and the like. Yeah.
I know in ports of the American Navy, when the ships are coming in, they up the transvestite tally.
I think there's a feel-good movie about a north of England town where everybody loses their jobs and goes to become transvestite prostitutes following world sport events. That kind of upbeat northern soul.
No work at the mill. And then you just see him staring at his wife's lipstick. as it slowly protrudes, as he twists a little. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa! Don't it feel good?
It's got goals, it's got holes. Got everything the British public would want. Also, a lot of people are really attracted to transvestites and transsexuals, aren't they? And just don't talk about it. I had a driver one time after a show who was just going, "Oh, I hate these bloody transvestites." And I was like, "What's your problem?" And he's just, all the horrible stuff they do down it. And he starts naming like 6 different bars. And you're just like, yeah, I think you really like transvestites.
Yeah, a fucking 300 quid for a double-wristed loopy, or,
The prices have gone up for a start, yeah.
Sometimes a man has very specific needs, and those very specific needs are not met with, 400 quid later, you're driving a cab all night on crystal meth trying to make some money back. Who? Oh, I forgot. I had something there. There is apparently a demon that stops children from being molested. Like, apparently they're not all bad, unless molesting children's really good. Nobody wants to check it out.
There's just one demon like the BFG who's got to side bat for the good guys.
Yeah. Well, it made me think, too, that's why the Catholic Church got so interested in exorcisms.
You're really a guy.
He has ruined one too many parties.
Well, maybe that's why they started strangling them, because maybe, like, the demon can take over a kid's body, the protective demon, and see who's doing it. And maybe that's when they have to strangle the kid. And if you're an older paedophile, it must be hard to explain that to someone who's new at the game. I had to strangle him. He had the demon eyes. Now, I know this makes me sound crazy, but a demon's eyes looked out from him. And if you rewind the film, you can see the exact moment. You see it? Oh, he was bent over.
Yeah. Trust me on this one. Hey, you're better off. You're better off making a mistake than not making a mistake, if you know what I mean. Yeah. If you even, we all got to start using lighters because you lit a match and I smelled the sulfur and I had to strangle him. And I thought a demon was here, but you were just fucking waving that unlit match around.
Why are you running your hand over your eyes, Dave?
Yeah.
Is that demon eyes there? I want to see your eyes at all times.
No sunglasses in our fuck parties. We're trying to keep demons out.
Okay, the kids can wear sunglasses. I like that.
If it's part of the costume.
Top Gear. Not Top Gear. Top Gun. Top Gear. A really specialist pedophile there.
Oh,
Kid
God.
Justice Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah. And I come in as the Stig.
Tie me! Tie me!
We're about to get this shut off. Just get out.
No one even here. The demon stopped the recording.
Yeah, the demons actually, it feeds on this evil. Its ear is just attached to the cord. But speaking of evil, with all those stories, I got to see a picture of Cyril Smith yesterday in the newspaper.
So you wouldn't have seen him. Have you not seen him?
No, well, if I had, I would have been able to tell you who your pedophile was years before you needed to have any inquiries. Glenn, we think there might be a pedophile in all these groups of people that have ever been in the company. Him! That one! That one over there!
I kind of feel contempt for any kid who couldn't get away from him.
Definitely run around behind him.
Unless you were in a children's home at the top of a hill and he just rolled after you like the fucking boulder from Indiana Jones.
How did he get up there? The ones at the tops of hills, the upstairs ones, they all made it. They didn't see a goddamn thing, but it was all the easy access.
All the kids getting together in the children's home going, yeah, we need to do something because they're sinking a 300-foot shaft into the hill to get a kind of elevator normally used on zoo animals to come up into the basement of the children's home. And we think this is a cause for concern, and we should contact the demon. The Top Gear demon? No.
Just ends up with a demon just down at City Hall trying to like get the plan stopped. Like I don't have like magic powers. I just like I can do stuff like this.
Perseverance is my power, and I'm going through the proper channels as a demon.
Your Honor, I respectfully would like to say I don't agree with the ruling, and your mother sucks cocks in hell.
Cyril Smith. He liked to pretend that kids needed a massage. That was his thing.
Oh, God. And no one could catch him. Like, the fattest man in the world was just telling people he likes to rub kids. And no one, he's too slippery. We can't.
It was the 70s. They just tried to get bigger and bigger, going, what do I need to do to fuck this up? It's like Led Zeppelin. It's like, well, it was like stadium pedophilia. You know, how big do we need to take this before it implodes?
I think a direct line has to be drawn with so many politicians and radio presenters being drawn into this. We have to look at the effects of making somebody talk like this all the time.
Yeah, well, we've got Carol in line too. Carol, you got anything to say about pop socks? You got an opinion, pop socks? I was thinking it's like hypnotism, you know, you listen to it in a shop or something. It's the only time I hear the radio, but it's like, yeah, and so leggings are coming back. Leggings? Anyone leggings? Well, you got an opinion about leggings, you want to tweet about leggings, or John's going to bring in some leggings, and then remember Leroy from Fame here, like, and he's just like, it sounds like a fucking man. It sounds like something a hypnotist would say to
maybe they've been on trial many times, and well, yes, that's an interesting interesting charge. If anybody else has any other charges they'd like to call in with right now, maybe we could.
16 aggravated counts of sexual assault.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah. So the verdict's coming back. Guilty. Interesting. Would you care to extrapolate that on, Your Honor? It just slowly turns them over to.
It sort of works like a phone-in, doesn't it? So one thing gets floated that's quite controversial. This fucking radio presenter fucked a kid, and then 16 others come out of the woodwork. Hey, fuck me as well. You know, it's exactly a kind of phone-in mentality. Phone in to your local police to say that I raped you.
Yeah, that would be great if, like, you know, because there's got to be some of those old guys who know it's coming. It's in the mail. They just haven't caught it yet, but they're just like, you know, the one day they crack, they're like, okay, it's gonna be my last day. I've got a revolver in here with me. But before I go, I used to hang out at fairgrounds in my radio station jacket, and I mean, it wasn't rape, but they weren't. Well, some of them were rapes. Anywho,
I'm here with my posse, and they're a literal posse who plan to hang me at the end of this broadcast.
And here's Wendy with the traffic. It's pretty snarled up around the radio station. People are pretty upset.
The motorway is blocked with some kind of makeshift gallows.
Oh, I guess that's for Guy Fawkes night. And please remember, don't let those little firecrackers off late at night. That's scaring the shit out of the dogs. That's right, I said shit. Yeah, that's that's a little warm up right there. What I'm about to confess to here, and it's going to involve a lot of famous people.
My next guest is Andrei Klitschko, the boxer who's just informed me that he is being ridden by a very angry demon.
Yeah.
It's weird no one's ever done it. When you consider how many radio presenters have raped people, no one's ever been accused during a phone-in. because you think they're the prime rapists in society, and they constantly throw themselves open to random calls from the public.
But that's how good they are at it. They can smell that. Okay, we're going to be on air in about 2 minutes. What do you want to talk about? I want to talk about 1978. And then, no.
Join us. We'll be discussing a bunch of stuff that happened after 1985.
The legal age of consent, 1985. Check it. I've got a little app on my iPhone, and usually I don't like technology, but this thing tells you the exact age of consent that day, and it'll change up. And boy, oh boy, it's made the last 10 years of my life, well, not as fun, I'll be honest with you. But
I have to tell you, I went through a rough couple of years when I had it set to Mexico. There's one thing you don't want to find yourself saying in a courtroom. It's, Your Honor, she looked 12 to me.
I thought she was Mexican, sir. Oh, did you see last night, too, Anonymous hacked the KKK's Twitter feed?
Right.
Which they could have been way funnier with it. They actually they put a picture of a KKK guy that had apparently been lynched, like hanging from a noose. I was like, lynching's just wrong,
My problem with the KKK is they're lynching the wrong people.
Yeah. From that, I found the American Nazi Party's Twitter feed through the KKK feed. So, Anonymous, trying to do a wonderful thing, just had me surfing the hate web. But I was looking through
Glenn clicked one retweet, and now he's supporting Andrew Lawrence on tour.
Not by the end of the tour. Yeah, they did a little swap about halfway through. Have you? It made the rounds on Halloween. It was Paul Lynde's Halloween special. He's a very camp man from the 1970s. And he was always gurning and looking at the camera. He was big on Hollywood Squares, I think. Anyway, it was very it's the cheesiest, campiest 1970s Halloween special you could even imagine. It's on YouTube.
Because Halloween needs to get camper and hornier.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with everyone, man? It's chance to dress up as a zombie, so I'm gonna get my fishnets on. And what? I'm gonna look like a dead, beautiful woman. What?
Well, that's what it was like in the Yukon, except because it would be late October, that far north. Every Halloween costume had to incorporate a ski jacket or a snowmobile suit. I'm the king of skiing.
I'm the ghost of your prom queen. Must be quite difficult to horrify each other when 20% of you die on the roads every year. Hey, I'm Dave. That's who you are. I thought you were Dave. I'm a different Dave.
Yeah. My uncle died on Halloween, and it was really difficult because I walked out and everyone was dressed as ghosts and zombies. I was like, I'm going through a real thing here right now.
I always think that must be what it feels like to be a psychic-ing Baghdad. You go out on Halloween. Here they all are again. Burning and screaming.
No, I don't have George Bush's number. Either of them. Yeah, I see dead people. Fucking loads of dead people.
Yeah, he's so lucky he lived in America.
Yeah. He was still seeing Confederate soldiers.
The follow-up where he goes to the Middle East is just fucking horrible. We can't get off the plane for dead people.
Yeah. I was lucky very early on. My favorite hockey player died in a car accident, so I learned very quickly what death affects you and what death doesn't affect you, you know. Pelle Lindbergh, one hell of a goalie. Not a great driver. Yeah, if only he could have used some of those reflexes.
Yeah, you would think. You'd have amazing reflexes.
They don't know what happened, but he fucking crashed his Porsche into a brick wall. I should actually look into it because I just remember seeing pictures of the Porsche on the news, and it was like, yeah, that guy's dead. Nobody lives through that.
Maybe he was a paedophile, and the demon just jumps into bodies and swerves you. You know, maybe him and Paul Walker.
A perfect way.
That's what I would do. If I was a child protecting demon, I think I'd try and get into their bodies when they were driving. Princess Diana, everybody.
Princess Diana, who
worked in the nursery that was beside the Dolphin House apartments that are the centre of this current investigation. This is the information that will get us killed, Glenn.
Yeah.
Nobody else has noticed that yet, except me.
Yeah, and then just this recording just being listened back by this is the CIA. You just at this point you just hear, toom, toom.
Glenn, you've got demon eyes.
We gotta get out of here.
Buddy movie with a demon on the run, man.
And every once in a while, I'm just slipping out of the hotel, coming back with blood on my hands. What did you do? Oh, you wouldn't believe how many people fuck kids everywhere.
You're just nipping out and killing all the radio presenters.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get a channel in the car.
Yeah.
Just dead air everywhere. Yeah, got him.
No, you're just listening to the radio in the hotel room going, I wonder where Glenn's going. And it's sunny and cloudy. Sunny and cloudy out.
Next, sport.
Yeah. But first, a little CCR.
I'm going to present this football scores through the ghost of Pelle Lindbergh. Midnight run for the new millennia.
What the fucking fuck, Jack? What the fucking fuck?
The Midnight Run was always on TV when I was younger, and they always, did you have this? They would change the swear words into other words.
Yes.
So it was always like, you maggot farmer. It's fucking ruined that movie. And every year they put it on completely travestied.
Yeah, The Breakfast Club, too.
All right.
Yeah. Hot beef injection became hot wild affection. And it was like not even like John Delson's voice. It was just a guy, like, you know, because he's got that kind of nasally sort of thing going. Come on, does it give you the hot wild affection?
Just a fucking FBI officer in a suit reading this out in the studio. Whose job was that, man? Yeah, I gotta go in and voice De Niro today. And tell these melon farmers to...
Yeah, I know melon farmer actually, to me, sounds slightly racist.
It sounds like it's got all kinds of possibilities.
Yeah, like if you, it's not technically racist, but if you called a black person that, they'd punch you. Well, I haven't heard about this one yet, but...
Or really, any kind of person who wasn't like completely Aryan, I think, would feel it might be a dig. Like Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
And he played a fucking melon farmer in a film, but I think he'd still punch you.
What film did he play?
You not seen that movie? Yeah, it's like an Elmore Leonard thing they made, but it's all about him defending to the death his watermelon farm. And it's like a follow-up to, what was the really famous one?
The Vigilante.
Yeah, he's super famous at the time, and as a vigilante kind of action figure. And he does this movie where it's the same movie, but based around, instead of defending his family, a large warehouse filled with melons. That's a real thing.
It was during the Great Melon Shortage of 1976. It was close to people's heart. He really read the zeitgeist there. Yeah. I hope those melons make it. Hope those melons make it and we get out of Vietnam and we can all have melons again.
That's why whenever you see a movie dubbed over, it's always Charles Bronson's voice that comes in. Melon farmer. God damn it.
Yeah, they just sampled the Vigilante, the melon years. No, it wasn't called Vigilante though, was it? It was called. You get the truth box out.
And get the phone up. I go here.
Something like it's two words.
One of them's like death.
Death wish.
Death wish. One of them actually was death. Amazing. Yeah, it was after Death Wish. It was like Melon Wish.
Death Wish, the melon years.
It's got a really bad title as well. It's called something like Mr. Majestic.
That is a movie. I didn't realize he was a melon farmer in it, but he was apparently also a magician or something.
It's just like a magician labouring under like just a normal Puerto Rican name somewhere.
Yeah, he won a melon farm in a card game in Vegas. So he goes out there, and it turns out a couple of Mexican gangs want a hold of his melon farm. Well,
anyone that's dumb enough to play a magician at cards deserves to lose his melon farm. To me and Bob Dylan. Bob. Some of those Bob Dylan albums with Charles Bronson, I mean, there's no way he did all those records himself.
No.
It's Mr. Majestic.
Yeah, that one's always on TV. I just never watched it.
Plot. Vince Majestic, Charles Bronson, is a former Army Ranger, Vietnam vet, who now owns a remote watermelon farm in rural Colorado. He needs to harvest his crop.
Is that even where watermelons grow?
I don't think that'd be like the worst. Yeah, he's got a watermelon farm out in the desert.
High in the mountains. In his watermelon farm.
Bob Dylan suggested watermelon farm in the desert as a kind of lyric. As like an oxymoron, and he's just taking him literally.
It sounds to me like in the original hip script, it was a grow up, and then they just went change it to watermelons.
Yeah, literally, it must have been that.
Yeah. What is the least offensive vegetation that we can have him growing? What's the happiest melon in the world? A watermelon.
Yeah, we got bored of just editing over the words people say and actually started to change whole concepts in the films.
Every time he's tending, it's just government stock footage of a watermelon farm. And then it comes back to Charles Bronson going with a gun, I gotta protect these watermelons. Can you imagine if you'd kind of see that movie in the 70s? How bored would you have had to been? Like, well, Bronson's got a new watermelon pick out. Why don't we spend fucking 3 hours of our lives, including travel, to go see what he's got to say on that issue?
I reckon a bunch of watermelons will blow up. Shotgun fire at some point.
We've watched all the Gallagher tapes. We've enjoyed them. We've had some watermelons. What to do with the evening? Is there any watermelon pictures out right now? I think Bronson's got one out. Okay, let's go check it out.
Well, it's a long 6 months till Eastwood's parsnip.
Oh, remember the guy last night?
Yeah.
I only eat turnips.
We watched a really fucking boring movie last night by the band St Etienne about Lee Valley, district of London. It turns out
It was like 28 days later without any of the zombies. It's just a kid riding around on a bicycle, getting odd jobs, like he was delivering newspapers, and then he delivers to like a dilapidated warehouse that for some reason had 3 guys in it, just fucking answering phones like, "Yeah, dusty tiles. You want to buy some dusty tiles?"
I never thought I'd watch a movie and pray for a watermelon. I could have really used some vegetation.
Yeah.
I think the idea was that we were supposed to be sad that this fucking derelict shithole of literally garbage was being knocked down.
Yeah, that no one was in.
Yeah, nobody lived there.
No. This huge part of one of the most vibrant cities in the world is no one's living in it anymore. And it's sad that there's going to fix it up and put an Olympic event on there. Have you seen what is on the cover of The Guardian today?
What is it?
Cameron fears second global financial crash, almost as if to say, if you keep pushing this fucking button, we're going to do it again, okay? We've all had some people at our workplace that have strangled children to death, okay?
And it's nearly Christmas. How would you like a global financial crash? Your little bonus packet.
And then, apropos of nothing, why I love Jews.
Julie Barchow. She wrote something about me saying I had a face only a blind mother could love. And I said, I'm sure blind children would love your face too if they could run their fingers over it without you eating them.
Yeah, they forget, eh? They forget we're comics sometimes.
Yeah, they forget it's not their job. Sure, you can be very dry in a column occasionally. Fuck gigs. I could happily not gig again.
No. Not saying you could, but no, I'd have to gig. Too much is attached to it now.
But why? Why?
Just need to, Need attention.
Need attention.
I do. I've sacrificed every relationship I've ever had. My unborn children have been put on the altar and split in two by Solomon's sword. It's all I have left, Frank. Just me and comedy, like a big demon that stops you from raping kids.
I had to come up with a whole comedy circuit just to siphon off the worst of the pedophiles. Do you know how difficult it was to create a student network in Britain throughout the 90s? Yeah. And I did it.
Yeah, I've worked for Avalon for quite some time now.
Do you know what doubling up would have meant for these people if I hadn't created the comedy circuit? Tripling up on a Saturday. How horrible is that? That easy spot in the middle.
Oh, you don't even know what that would have meant.
You don't want to be a kid who's been dragged into a room with 4 comedians who have been told that they've got 20 minutes to open.
The worst thing about the first red light is there's 3 more to come. If this one asshole even fucking saw it and doesn't play the... Oh, did you... I didn't see the line. Sorry. I had the eyes of my mask zipped, so I couldn't see anything.
Being a closer meant you had a red-hot poker.
Anyway, this is all an alternative universe that I'll show you one day. But
what are we talking about there? Still not done cocaine. Still not been tempted.
I still not finished it.
I took Valium to go in a brain scanner because it was a brain scan where they
Test came up negative.
yeah they essentially ram you into a fucking chamber like a shot into a cannon. Pretty much, they shove your feet up into a fucking hole in the wall in a Scottish brain scanner. And it's if you've got any claustrophobia, or even if you haven't, it's really unpleasant. And I had to take Valium to do it because I couldn't do it the first time. And it was because I'm not taking it in donkeys. It was like being on fucking heroin or something. So I thought I've not come up yet, and I went in and I thought this is me come up, and I was frightened and I went I can't do it. And then they took me out. And then suddenly it hit me, and I was like, "Oh no! Did I say I can't do it? I'd love to do it. Get me in there!" And I was just like, absolutely loving it from 20 minutes of peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, loved it. If you've got kids, just being rammed into a wall for 20 minutes on Valium is pretty much as good as your day gets.
Yeah, like a mausoleum. Oh, yes. Lovely death. Ooh.
I think that's the thing with space travel. We don't understand why people would go to the moon or risk their lives. And you're just like, they all had kids, all those astronauts. They're just like, fucking get me up there. Just, got to be in camp for months and then fire me at... Has anyone been on Mars yet? Fire me at Mars.
Yeah. Oh, I can't come back? No. Well, I'm sure somebody else will start banging my wife and raise him. Cyril Smith ends up there. Hello. Are you a lonely mommy? He's been proven a pedophile, right? I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to lose him. Like, and he's dead too.
He's dead.
He's a deadophile. the best kind.
Say what you like about a deadophile.
That's my zombie pedophile movie. The pedophiles. Cocks. Little boys' cocks.
They're all crowding around Disney World. It's really a satire, you know, but...
Oh, that was the story I was going to tell you. I was watching, I can't remember who I was working with. Somebody does a little audience interaction saying, if you were a zombie, what part of the body would you eat first? So it's a good game, you know, an MC plays it with the thing. And then this is another reason why I hate the Middle East, or expats more. The guy went, the ass, as long as it was a chick. I'm so straight, I bring it up at weird times. Like you think your sexuality is so strong that it would survive the zombie apocalypse, and you'd still only eat a girl's ass.
You're eating a guy's brain? Gross.
Oh, faggot. What else of the guy did you eat? Ooh.
I think Deadophile would be like set in Disney World and be sort of like a cross between Dawn of the Dead and Home Alone. Like, what's a dead Joe Pesci.
And Daniel Stern, who I believe is dead.
Is he?
I don't know.
If he is, he's a pedophile. And if he's not, then he isn't. I think I covered this legally there.
Yeah, and if I were you, Daniel Stern, I'd go check your health because, you know, if you die, we're going to say you're a pedophile. Anybody, any weird-looking guy, any weird-looking famous guy, you better not die or we're going to out you as a pedophile.
Like we did with Joan Rivers.
No wonder she had to keep changing her appearance. She was wanted in 47 states. Oh, it was a much older woman who came along and...
It's one of the joys of having a younger girlfriend is it never gets boring the way that you'll be watching like Raging Bull and have someone be really excited, saying, "One of the wet bandits is in this." You kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah. That can happen with Harvey Keitel now too. Like he's fucking there's nothing Harvey Keitel won't do now, I don't think.
What is going on with all those actors? I think they have so many families over the years because people live longer now. So in the old days, Dean Martin or whoever, they'd just get claimed by cancer in their 60s. The big C had come along and, put an end to their alimony payments. But, nowadays, fucking, you just trundle on forever and you've got to go into family movies to pay your $1 million a year alimony to all your separate families.
That's why they call them family movies.
Robert De Niro paying for his 3 families with this piece of shit about a wedding. How galling is that?
Yeah, I think the Catholic Church. If that's what demons' jobs are, and this every time one comes down, they've been banishing them back. Can you imagine? The pedophilia scandal was big. Can you imagine if demons were tangible angels that had been chased away by the evil organization that is the Catholic Church, and they controlled the media, The Exorcist. It was all very one-sided. I'd like to see what the demon actually said when he took over the little girl's body and talked about a financial system that was more fair and you couldn't really profit that much off of it. It just made sure the money kept moving and interest rates you couldn't gamble high. And
be in the papers for a day. Oh yeah, they had an angel chained up in the basement of the Vatican and his mouth soldered together. But this week, Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, look at this. Kim's ass. Yeah, look at that ass.
Stop speaking glossolalia, Gabriel, and look at that ass. You and your crazy Enochian language telling us how to create helium reactors.
Yeah. Just one clipped wing, just sort of flapping, trying to get out.
A bunch of angels in a big giant kind of pigeon coop. Mike Tyson, this is my pigeon coop of clipped winged angels. They set up that rape charge so that I would have to look after these. I'm the only guy who can keep them in control. Shut the fuck up, Gabriel. Raphael, you pecking at that door again.
Half seeds. That's what happens.
We can't eat seeds. We can't.
I don't think you tried hard enough. I'm gonna pop one stitch in each mouth.
This tattoo is actually a Gnostic symbol that stops demons from entering my soul.
It may just look like funny squiggles to you, but angels cannot attack it.
Put me in a ring with an angel, see what happens. I'd like to see that shit.
Yeah. He gets stinging eyes and he can't tell the truth anymore.
I went to Miss America contest once and someone said the winner looked like an angel. And it just triggered my programming. It triggered an altar that had been set within me, and I was forced to rape her. What do you think happened to the Virgin Mary? Yeah? God just waved a magic wand and she got a baby? No. That was angel rape. That was the start. His big wings flapping away over that poor little girl.
It's hard to defend.
You look at the nativity scene with the wise men and the donkey and everything. If she fucked everything in that manger, it'd be less weird than the conception. can't wait for Bill Cosby to die.
Ah, yeah.
Just saying.
Oh, I think you can say just about pretty much anything about Big Bill now that Hannibal said it, and there's not like, I'm gonna sue you.
Who said it?
Hannibal Buress.
Who's that?
American comedian, very good friend of mine. He opened for me in Chicago when I recorded my first album. So the guy that you hear going, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Bill Cosby is a motherfucking rapist.
And welcome.
yeah. We edited out that part, but which one of you would like a blue pudding pop? No. Yes, it's a bit spicy, dicey, and you shouldn't eat it. It tastes a little fucking strange. Eat it anyway.
I'm a doctor. I just played that part so that I would have enough medical knowledge to anesthetize a 19-year-old. I don't think you need to go to college for 2 years just to act in a sitcom. Shut up! I'll approach this role how I like.
Now drink your coffee and go to sleep.
Oh, that was a great sleep, Bill. I've noticed new types of cars on the pavement, and a big building across the road that didn't used to be. You had a good sleep there.
Got a little bit of bags under your eyes that are gone now. Sorry, you seem to be wearing my pants. Get it?
Drink this coffee, it'll turn your hair green.
Well, I always liked Bill Cosby. He was one of my heroes growing up. But, yeah, if it's true, then fuck him.
But stand-up is good, man.
Yeah. But, you know.
He just never followed through on the honesty, as all comedians don't. There's always a certain limit to the honesty. So Richard Pryor comes along and sort of makes Bill Cosby look a bit redundant in the 70s. Because, like, suddenly that stuff that seemed like complete honesty seems like it's very qualified honesty. If Cosby had then gone a step further and said, well, white people do this and black people do this and I rape. I do neither. I don't drive either of those ways because I'm busy raping interns. Think about that. He could have leapfrogged. Maybe society, he was so popular, maybe society would have gone with him.
The Coke Pepsi challenge that summer.
There's not an angel that can stop me. That's right, you tell Bill.
Just what would you do if just out of nowhere Bill Cosby showed up with a Mike Tyson tattoo on his face and all of a sudden we couldn't charge him anymore? We're like, I don't get it, but that symbol is making me sleepy. Whomp.
I am sorry to tell you that the angel Raphael has just been trapped in a giant mouse trap, which I baited with the young girl. You cannot stop me now. Roseanne had been saying that for ages. So Roseanne kept saying Bill Cosby is a mass rapist, boldly.
Yeah.
And that's how it can go from there. I can't believe it, man. He didn't even have a radio show. I didn't have time to present on the radio.
What everybody forgets when you knock a young lady out is you have to monitor her. You can't just leave her on her own and sleep her off, or she'll wake up and she get out. No, you have to make sure she's tucked up nice, and you put it, and you say, "Oh, that was a nasty fall you had in the bathroom. Is your head okay?" Whose shirt is this? It's your shirt now. You remember?
Think about these jumpers, sis. They hide vomit. You get enough colors in a jumper. You don't know if someone's vomiting on it or not.
It also stops people from looking at your face when sometimes you want the authorities to know who you are. All I remember is a Technicolor dream coming at me, and then everything went foggy. Could you identify? No, it really was an ugly shirt. I could not take my eyes off of it.
Look at the dirt, baby.
Tricky Bill's back again.
Hurry up and die, Bill. We can have Wednesday off if he just dies on Tuesday.
Yeah. It's weird, though, when celebrities get caught with rape or charged with rape, the amount of people, like, I don't understand. Like, why would you... They could fuck anybody they want. That's not what rape's about. It's not like... Bill Cosby wasn't just down on his luck and like, I keep signing up for these dating websites and it just... Nobody wants to go out with Big Bill, the most famous man in America. Something right the way I talk. No, rape's about power, and that's a different thing. Although, like, that's the other side of it. Anytime you get drawn too far, like I don't know why people rape each other.
Yeah, I just thought that was really confidently said there. The thing about rape is...
It's got to be in there somewhere. Like I think a lot of pedophilia in the past was due to the archaic homosexuality laws, where there was just gay people going, I don't know what else to do, and if they catch me fucking another guy, they're gonna burn me in a pile of things. So fuck a kid, and hopefully the kid will keep a secret.
No, Glenn. Well, I'm gonna destroy these tapes. So if you're ever charged with anything,
I'm not saying.
Don't worry, it's gone. I think there were a lot of clergy who were actually gay, but paedophilia is a separate thing. It's not.
Yeah,
gay.
I don't know. I'm not a priest, nor a gay man, nor a pedophile. So I'll connect all three if I like.
Let's start with a really horrible riddle.
Are you a midget? I'm a midget in dog collar. No, but that's what happens if you start trying to imagine too far into why people do it. I'm sure there's. It's like that idiot Richard Dawkins when he fucking decided to tweet the severities of rape. And then couldn't understand why people are like, you're fucking retarded, sir. Oh, can I have a discussion about this? Not on Twitter. You don't tweet. I think we should have known something was up when Bill Cosby retweeted it. You know what? I believe in God, but I like this Dawkins character too. He says some good things.
Only 2 retweets me, and who the fuck is Andrew Lawrence? Wake up, baby. Wake up and look at this shit.
Favorite, retweet it or do nothing. Favorites don't do anything for Big Bill. Where's my trumpet? I made him play a trumpet in that one. I don't know where that.
Did he play the trumpet?
No, I don't know. I don't know where.
I know where it comes from. His fucking dad was in the Cosbys, who was a famous trumpet player, wasn't he? Or like.
Dizzy Gillespie was on it once. Yeah,
and they'd come round and fucking all going, "We go and watch my pop play the trumpet." That was a feature of the Cosbys.
Yeah.
He wasn't called Dizzy Gillespie till he took a drink from Bill.
And he definitely didn't have that sort of cheek capacity before the nap.
Steady legs Gillespie can really play this thing.
I've seen that man stay awake for 48 hours on the trot just playing the trumpet. I told you not to drink each other's drinks.
I think I was always as good a trumpet player. It's only when I stopped drinking altogether. I'd get incredibly dehydrated, but very focused.
It's sippy cup night down at the Bill Cosby bar. I'll get it in there. I've got tiny pills. I'll hit it from across the room. This is the greatest rohypnol shooter this fucking town has ever seen.
Remember Angel Heart with Lisa Bonet?
Yeah.
The daughter, the beautiful daughter from the Cosby Show. And it turns out that he is doing all the murders himself, and that the devil, Louis Cypher, played by Robert De Niro, menacingly eating eggs. That was actually an attempt to communicate what was really going on in show business. That was like the Citizen Kane of the 80s. This is what it's like in here.
Yeah. They just at the end they went right to the thing because almost the day before shooting, Robert De Niro's character was going to be played by a large watermelon. Defended by Charles Bronson.
Okay, guys, here's the compromise. We're going to have a melon dressed as a farmer, but he's going to be called Motherfucker. So the film gets to keep its edge and everybody's happy.
No, it's not a racist joke. It's just...
It's Bob Dylan's idea.
The man who secretly runs Hollywood. Where the rumor that the Jew controls Hollywood. It's not the Jews. That's Bob Dylan's real name. The Jew. He's from Minnesota. What else were they going to call him?
I think the problem is that I've been speaking in metaphor and people have been taking it literally. When I said it's like 18-year-olds are being abused, I meant figuratively. I didn't mean actually abuse them.
And then they just stick a fucking harmonica in his mouth. Yeah, that's right, Bob. Just play that for a while. Suck on that, Dylan. Yeah. In the future, when we all have like mechanical suits that keep us alive for 300 years, anytime you say something contentious, just a little harmonica goes in front of your mouth. You know, he claps along. Would you please stop doing that? What I was trying to say was...
I think it's very important that we hold the government to account on... Is that cymbals? Is that...
Yeah. Is there a drum growing out of my back? This dance is not what I want to be doing.
Ironically, that's a perfect metaphor for show business. You know what? They'll just take it literally. Literal Bob Dylan. I'm not thinking of like everything he'd done had just been taken literally, and he was trying to be. There was no tambourine man. I never planned to put any songs out, and then I wrote, "I shall be released," and they put it out. It's like a metaphor. When I say like a metaphor, that's not a simile, by the way. I'm drawing a comparison. You have to be so precise with how you speak around these people.
Yeah. Why am I in charge?
If only more celebrities asked themselves that.
Yeah.
Why is everyone listening to me? I'm sure I'm good at the harmonica, but that hardly seems like a qualification.
Surely an elected official of some sort. Somebody with some training in the field.
I'm proposing vocational training for all elected offices. but, don't listen to me. Because I'm like self-taught on the guitar.
Yeah. Have you heard me lately? Why would you? I wish fame was an elected position. That would be great.
It sort of is. It sort of is.
Well, I guess it is now,
eyeballs.
but with whatchamacallit, the stupid shows. Does people watch the talent contest?
Yeah.
The hell are they called?
Less people watch them than ever before, so now it's like 10 million a fucking weekend. Down from like half the country.
Well, I blame those shows for the rise of the Bush administration because it taught idiots how to vote.
Yeah.
And that was enough to swing it, I think. Oh, I get it now. Huh. You select the one you like. Well, does this apply anywhere else? We should run a government like this.
They brought out an app for the X Factor that was basically like you tap on the app for applause. The happier you are when the act's on, so you do, then they use the applause score, and you're like, they can't get rats to do that without reward. I mean, they're feeding the fucking rats crack or something. You're doing that at home. You bought your own snacks.
Yeah. I'm amazed at the half-life that people pretend is a real existence.
Yeah.
You're just sitting at home tapping your iPhone because the ugly person had a nice voice. Tap, 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 tap.
Well, I sort of feel relationships are almost like that, though. It's just really a bond, a pointless bond you form to stop you in watching the movies that you actually enjoy and try to reach some kind of compromise movie. I mean, if television didn't exist, I don't think relationships would exist anymore. I couldn't be with someone if I had to talk to them all fucking evening.
I like these ideas for Valentine's Day cards. I just need you to shorten them up because they're really long. Like it's got to be one really poppy. I don't get to watch the fucking movies I want. And then maybe like a little.
And then inside, but I don't mind. I do mind in the back.
Yeah.
Thing is, if you could find a woman who liked the movies that you liked, they would be unbelievably fucking damaged.
Oh, speaking of unbelievably damaged, the lady who married Charles Manson yesterday, her uncle should be sent immediately to prison.
Her uncle?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, just
You've pieced that together, Columbo.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just in the middle of the ceremony, her uncle's being checked into the prison. Oh, hello. Yeah, they don't even need DNA for this. I just go.
Mad Charlie Manson. It's amazing he's managed to stay as famous when a lot of people have come and tried to take the top spot. And they've put a lot of work in. I mean, they've killed a lot of fucking people.
If I was a serial killer, I would hate Charles Manson. Yeah. He didn't do any of the killing himself.
Didn't kill him.
He wasn't at like one of the like it's up in the air whether he was at both crimes. There's never been anybody who's done less and received more.
Unless Ted Bundy had writers. Manson's. Yeah, the yarn casting, that was me. Yeah. He just ran with it.
Yeah. When we met Ted Bundy, he was sucker punching people in bars. We made him the killer he is today, or was today. I wonder if whoever electrocuted Ted Bundy got all of his souls.
Whoa, I feel I've really powered up.
Oh. Yeah.
They just think he's got post-traumatic distress with like 200 voices in his head. But he's like, no, I'm pretty sure. I mean, they've got pretty fleshed out backstories. I think this is really happening. There's no way I'd remember growing up as a prom queen in Idaho as a result of post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, I've read a lot of the literature, and I've talked to 3 of the voices, and they say no, and they're pretty smart. Smarter than me. I'm just a screw.
You get one of your Vietnam vets in here and ask him if there's any detailed stories from high school told from the point of view of an 18-year-old girl. Okay,
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
No, they claim the only thing that can happen there is sometimes you get Vietnamese women and children's voices in your head. That's the only thing. And a couple of hobos from when you got home.
Hey, do you want me to tell you a story, John? Another story from my life? Sure, I'm not doing anything. I mean, I'm just waiting for the bus. Okay, do you want it to end with me being smashed over the head with a crowbar and thrown into the boot of a car and driven to a kill site? No. I tell that one all your stories end like that.
Yeah. You managed to twist it around every time. Yeah, and every time he flicks the switch of another one, there's another 300 voices in his head.
Before I do this, who did you kill? Because I don't know that I can handle another loud Hispanic woman. It was a mute. Okay, you're going.
Oh, God. Thank the Lord. God, I could kill mute killers all day. God, that's... yeah, they call me gimmies in the executioner game. Oh, yeah, you fried a mute killer. Well, you know, first day on the job? That's what somebody just said in my head.
That's what you think initially, and then you have the unique noise of a frightened deaf guy screaming in your head.
That is not. It's not a pleasant sound.
It's like it's kind of like a human rape alarm. He meets dead women suddenly. 300 dead women at once. You don't want to hear how a mute reacts to that.
I think we're done there, aren't we? Yeah. You spurred me on. I had a thought about rape whistles. I think they should also come with consent whistles. Something you could blow when you're really horny. Don't make it the same sound. Yeah, well, this one's blue and the other one's pink. So, no, it's dark in that park. Oh, and there was something I had to...
She blew her consent whistle. Excuse me, are you Bob Dylan or Bill Cosby? I'm Bill Cosby. There was just enough air in her lungs to blow that consent whistle. The fuck? Did you swallow the fucking consent whistle, Bill? Something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
My voice,
It's in the morning, Big Bill doesn't sound like Big Bill in the morning.
my lips went numb after kissing my girlfriend.
You ever pick up the wrong drink off the table and ended up jacking yourself off? I had such muscle memory, I molested my passed out self. Love me, America. In the most misnamed soccer match in the world, Scotland and England are playing a friendly tonight.
Yeah, that should be good, man. We lack talent, but part of the thing in Scottish football is just getting people who can't control the ball as well as you would expect,
Yeah.
and getting them to do it in possibly the slippiest country in the world. And now let's add pressure. And if there'd been an independence vote, it would have been a fucking interesting game. If they'd voted for independence, this would have been amazing.
Yeah. Well, how many English people will be there? 11?
No, they surely get thousands. The chance to hate people without having to get on a flight. I mean, the English are going to be all over that. aren't they?
Yeah. I don't think it'll kick off. I think it'll be all right.
I think we're all too.
It ain't kicking off weather.
Yeah.
It's too cold.
I don't think there's ever been winter riots.
No.
They just wrote it off as a snowball fight. That's the propaganda system for you.
They had one, but then one guy had slipped and fell down the hill, and everybody said that looked so much fun. Then they all started sliding down the hill.
You break out the water cannon and suddenly you've got like a 30-yard slide. It's a bitterly determined protester.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to rock a car on ice.
Yeah.
You just end up sliding it down the street.
Thanks, guys. I was dug in there. We freed another police car.
It's the paddy wagon. Filled it up and took it full. Do you know, I found out a thing about ISIS that I didn't know. Do you know where their funding comes from?
In Qatar.
Qatar,
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
There's all of that, isn't there? Because like fucking 9/11 was plotted by Saudi Arabians in Germany. Then they fucking invade Afghanistan on the pretense that they're killing a guy who's fucking holed up in Pakistan. And then at the end of the mission, they go, mission accomplished. What was that mission? And then the mission keeps changing, you know? There's just that whole, we're there to get bin Laden, but actually, no, it's more to educate women. That's a fucking leap, isn't it? Yeah, it's just primary education for ladies. That's a real priority in our society.
Yeah.
So much so that we sell fucking weapons to every society that persecutes women across the fucking world. Fucking Britain sells arms to Sri Lanka, whose fucking head of state gassed his own people.
Yeah.
Like, who lives and who dies? We let the wind decide with a gas attack. Wind lottery.
Frankie, those were components. What they made out of those gun parts it's like we sold them Lego, so to speak, with some cyanide gas. If you so chose to put that onto the Lego.
It's like the A-Team. They locked us up in a shed with the cyanide gas bomb and a cyanide gas bomb launcher. What are we gonna make?
Da, da, da. Yeah. When did Germany just suddenly allowed to have an army? Like that was a weird part too. Like I thought they were still under like, okay, knock it off. But I think it was when they agreed to go to Iraq for the first one. They were like, okay, well, now you've shown you know how to use an army for good. Come to the Middle East.
They're going to be really all over the uniform design. Aren't they? Really?
50 years of pent-up uniform design.
They're just going to have a fucking list of rules. There's no leather. We can't get away with it yet.
Yes, it's the dogma. It's military dogma. What is too much? Okay, well, let me show you a picture of Gaddafi. Now, that is a fashion crime. Crimes against humanity, please. I would blow up a jet with myself on it if I walked around looking like that.
Look at this. He's a little cape. Did Hitler have a little cape? He didn't. Is it suggestive of Hitler? Well, okay, slightly. But we can get away with a little red cape.
I heard a story about Gaddafi in the Middle East when he had his one of his many facelifts, which shocked me. I was like, really? What did it look like before? He got the best doctors in the Middle East to do it, and then Took them all into a tunnel under the mansion, and he's like, "Now, you're not going to tell anyone about this, are you?" In a way that all of the doctors thought they were going to be killed in that tunnel over a facelift, and that, my friend, is motherfucking vanity.
It's been great since I had the facelift. Now women who are forced to blow me at gunpoint seem happier.
You know, when you are pressing everyone, you like to have a nice taut face to do it. Really helps.
When your face is 60 foot high on a wall in front of a military parade, tell me you're not going to want a little help. Okay?
Just a little lift. A little. Hey, is that a little crow that's walked across your eyes? Not anymore. Mar, what's your secret? Shh. See, what I would have done if I was him is I would have got everyone else to have saggy-faced plastic surgery. The whole country. Everybody has it.
Just force their children to hang off their jowls for 2 hours a day. National exercise time. You just need rioters to go to richer areas. That's a standard problem in political dissent. Let's blow up our own bus. How are we going to get out of here? I don't know. We blew up the bus.
Yeah, you'll find the police have different levels of policing the nicer the houses get. And then it's just, okay, throw the rubber bullets away. You're in rubber bullet territory, but if you cross over into 67th Street, my friend, that is live ammunition all the time.
Trump Tower is essentially a sniper nest. Do you think we're building all these skyscrapers?
Yeah.
You idiots.
Nothing goes past the 5th floor. The rest of that is just a pillbox, if you will.
Al Qaeda took a couple down to try and help you idiots out. There's footage of a couple of Hispanic guys out there fighting for like some mad kind of Muslim endeavor in Syria, and they're like, "Hey, I say this is the real deal. Look at this shit." You seen that?
No.
Yeah, they're just out there with fucking AKs, just shooting at people, going, "Shout out to Big S, shout out to Big Ray."
Yeah.
Like firing over some fucking wall.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna start happening like that more and more. It's just this fucking weird.
But isn't that what our armies do anyway? So we've gone from being like a conscription army, which they got rid of after Vietnam because they were like, well, everyone will go crazy and fucking you'll have to have a draft. And now they've got a mercenary army. You know, that's why you don't have fucking war poets anymore. Because like the poetry that would come out of our fucking frontline soldiers
Sound a lot like gangster rap.
There was a young man who failed school. People thought he was a bit of a fool. He took a lot of crack, went out to Iraq, and his legs ended up in Kabul.
I met a team of mercenaries in Spain once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they'd just been back from, they'd been in Africa somewhere. But they were all English. The trigger man, the one that all the other mercenaries were afraid of, with the tattoos on his head, came up to me. He goes, "Can I ask you a question?" I was like, yeah, you can. He goes, "When you were little, did your uncle put his hands down your pants?" I said, "No." He went,
Fucking hell.
just checking. Not coming drinking, guys.
Fuck me.
Hello?
I wonder what that was the opener for if you went, yeah! Do you know him?
I think I was about to feel a big mercenary hand down my pants. If I never.
He was a goalkeeper, so I felt incredibly insecure for years. Fucking hell, man. You know there's a mercenary club in London, a gentleman's club?
That's where they're trying to take me to.
All
It was in like Magaluf or somewhere. But yeah, they kept going. It's the 100 Club or something weird.
Yeah, that's it. Welcome to day 230 of our push-up competition. I saw a headline there. Governor of Barlinnie prison in Glasgow says they're losing the war on drugs. You're like, you're in a fucking prison. You can search everyone going in and out. You can't keep drugs out. So the fucking war on drugs. As me and you were saying, like, anyone who talks about winning the war on drugs sounds like they're high. Just,
Yeah.
Maybe everyone will stop taking them one day. And, you know? I mean, we've always needed them in the past, but I see a future where, you know, table tennis takes over.
Yeah. If everybody could just be like me, and quite often just took them to a point that you're so embarrassed by your behavior that you can't even touch one. Everyone's like me, right? No. Most of us, you know, maybe once a month, get a little ropey. You know, fucking old everyday Billy over there is now, you know what? I became a horrible addict, so I think it's that sort of mind frame that should tackle the world's problems.
I couldn't handle it, which is why I should be the head of handling it.
But yeah, did you see that thing about the monkeys? I don't know if we've talked about this before. Not the band, but because there was monkeys that they lived beside a sort of tourist resort and down in the Seychelles or wherever the fuck it was. Doesn't matter. And they realized the power because they were drinking the drinks that were by poolside, and they realized what alcohol did. And they realized where they got it from. And in the monkey colony, once they realized what alcohol did, 10% of them never touched it, 80% drank moderately, and 10% just fucking got blotto every time they had an opportunity. And it's the exact same way that society works.
It's also how Bill Cosby fucked a monkey. I had to weed him out.
I didn't start AIDS, but I give it a good push. I was one of the pioneers of HIV.
That is the most sickening Christmas special. We've just collectively blotted it from our minds. Yeah, there was a Cosby Christmas special.
You know, now that you say it.
Welcome to Bill Cosby's Cocktail Hour with me, Bob Dylan.
And me, Bill Cosby. Now, where's that dizzy little monkey? I'm going to use your whole head, man. And you put his legs up and you put the thing in the thing and then the monkey's eyes go cross.
I'll fill time while you're getting the monkey stirrups out there, Bob. The times have certainly been a-changing for me. I've been losing 3 days every month on Bill's cocktails.
Who's that? I just let you sleep. I took your pants down once and you had a bum that looked like your face and your face looked like a bum.
I'm still really tired from the 60s.
I bet. I didn't have a nap till 1968.
Cosby's made Richard Pryor look tame now, man. I was just drugging myself. Yeah. What was I thinking?
Why light yourself on fire when you can light a lady on fire? Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst defense of Bill Cosby's defense too. Of just, I'm not going to say anything. Do you think who who's like, well, that's good enough for me. He's just struck dumb by the whole situation. Bill, did you drink some of your own drink there?
It's like the Princess Bride. He's been in the green room, like spinning the table round on his wife. And she's just outthought him. That had built up a resistance to this.
Maybe he's just waiting for the journalist to drink their coffee. No, Bill.
He's just saying stuff to try and make them thirsty. Hot in here.
I'll turn the heat up and then we can all have a glass of bitter water.
Let's talk about salt.
Have more potato chips. Everybody loves potato chips.
Little cheesy crackers.
Oh, they're talking about now.
Richard Pryor took so much coke. He was fucking Pam Grier, and she went to the doctor. Do you know the story?
Yes.
And her pussy was turned numb because he was essentially ejaculating cocaine. That's why comics should never get famous.
Sometimes it happens to not famous ones. I seem to remember in Edinburgh.
That's just what they said to you, Glenn. I think my pussy must be numb, Glenn. Don't blame yourself.
That's cool, man. It's fine. Nothing wrong, man. I'm still the best in the world, and that's not going to change. So whatever. Your pussy numb. Yeah. Is your mouth numb? Hey. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't take that much for that to happen, though.
All right.
I hope. I don't know.
I share
Again,
a lot
I'm
of
not a
stories
doctor.
with Richard Pryor, and I think it's normal.
Yeah. Is your light?
I thought of putting in, it's like UKIP. So Nigel Farage and me had some back and forth, and he put a bit about how he preferred comedians like George Carlin and Richard Pryor and stuff like that. You're just like, what the fuck? Someone's obviously just dictated it to him, right? And I thought of going, I'd have thought the only reason that you'd have liked Richard Pryor would be because he set fire to a black guy. But I sort of thought better of it. For legal reasons, we do not believe that Nigel Farage would like to set fire to a black man.
I still believe it.
I believe it too. But legally, I don't.
I just remembered what I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you heard about this, the Canadian scandal with Gian Gameshi.
Oh, I've heard about it. Of course I have.
Yeah.
Should we explain the story for people who aren't from North America? He is a radio presenter in Canada who sued the radio station that sacked him, saying that they were just clamping down on his interest in sort of S&M.
Yeah.
But what it seems he was doing was punching women without asking them mid-sex. And I thought the chilling detail, at one point he turned his teddy bear to the wall and said, "Big ears Ted, won't want to see this." I thought that spoke of hidden depths.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's something I touched on yesterday, and I think that man is at heart a homosexual. And it's not that gay people punch women.
We're calling an expert witness, Glenn Wool.
This is why I believe. But I caused up a little controversy when I said that. But I don't think gay people punch women. I think a gay man who had been fooling himself into thinking he was heterosexual for many years and it's a possibility that it would manifest itself in like you just looking down and go punch. I don't like that.
Is this an evidence-free conclusion?
What's that?
Is there any evidence to suggest?
I'm just extrapolating, I mean, why do you think the man punches women who fillet that filleted him?
I think his dad was the uncle of Charles Manson's wife. I think the teddy bear being turned to the wall is something that at some point an adult did to him. And he has essentially compartmentalised a profound disturbance in his life and hates women. Probably hates women if he's punching them.
Yeah. And where would that female hatred come from?
Well, you know, not from being gay, which I think is much more to do with enjoying musical theatre.
Would you?
Than you do.
If a friend of yours came to you and said, here's the thing, Frank. Every time I engage in sexual activity with the female, I punch and I choke. Would you at no point go, have you tried a fella?
Pick on someone your own size.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Fair fight. Even if he's not gay, at least a fucking Berlin Fister is gonna come right back up, stick a big brown knuckle in his nose. Sorry, I didn't mean that racially. Gian Gameshi is Persian. I meant the German guy had a brown knuckle from all the fisting. Before anybody complains.
I can't say anyone complaining about this segment.
This is tame. But one thing that I didn't even know about Gian Gameshi, first of all, I feel sorry for, he used to go by John Gameshi and then changed it back to his original spelling, which has ruined it for any other Gians. Oh, thanks for changing your name back just before the big sexual scandal. It's like the new operation in the fucking hate fuck pedophiles. It's now called Operation Midland. Like, can you imagine if you had a house in the Midlands? You're like, oh, the big pedophile sting's named after us. We our houses already aren't worth that much money. Now we live in the pedophiles.
Are you saying that living here is a type of child abuse? Because frankly, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, I feel bad for the guy who runs the yew tree shop in the Midlands.
I very much doubt that Big Ted would want to see this place. It's disgusting. There's a sniper up on top of a building in town centre in Wolverhampton, and there's a queue in there trying to get shot by him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he turned the gun on himself.
Selfish bloody bastard.
We're all down to waiting to be killed.
Time the bus had got in there. He turned the fucking gun on himself.
And the only thing I'm sorry about in that last one is my accent.
Yeah. Bill Cosby was from the Midlands.
I'll turn the gun on her. And that Bill Cosby, that's little known, used to go to school shootings and have sex with the dead children.
Fucking an unconscious body must be one of the loneliest activities in the world.
Oh, God.
You're not even alone. You're with -1 people.
Yeah, you'd take every mirror out of that room. Yeah. Sadly, Bill let the teddy bear watch. He just wanted to have two sets of eyes on the situation.
Who would have thought a radio presenter would be involved in a scandal like that?
Yeah, it's just...
Phone in and tell us what you think of my perversions. I like punching women on the side of the head while they're blowing me. What are your thoughts? Do you been punched on the side of the head?
I've been punched. I've been punching. It's just a regular bar fight every time I get laid. Hey, Mr. Frenchie, what do you think? I don't know. Oh, get out of here.
A lot of our crazy characters been donkey punched here all the way till 4 o'clock.
That's what it ends with.
It's interesting legally, isn't it? Now we have to Google all these things. Is he suing anyone? So we're like the last wave of actually, those podcasting guys are now calling him a rapist. So I guess he is.
We never called him a rapist. We said his sexual peccadillos were odd and ruining it for other people.
Oh yeah, we didn't call him a rapist.
No.
But we're sort of like the battlefield carrion birds of legal disputes over sex crimes. once we've arrived, the fight is over.
Yeah, it has gone real sex crimey the last few sessions.
Well, to be fair, it's gone really sex crimey the last sort of 40 years, and we've just found out about it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's always been sex crimey.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just finally catching people for it.
History is written by the victors. That's why they don't put in their sex crimes. Churchill's just like, take out the wave of sex crime that I committed. yeah, Dunkirk, keep that in. Wasn't great, but...
Yeah, he was the reason a lot of those guys didn't want to retreat at Dunkirk. Because they knew he was back in England. He was the number one recruiting tool in small towns. He would just show up, and the local young men would just find it preferable to go and fight in Europe than stay around Winston.
That V sign was for double penetration. This is what's coming for you.
And there's 8 more where that came from.
Britain's 10-cocked warlord.
Yeah, that was the edited passage from War Horse.
You know that thing? I was thinking about that when I walked by War Horse. You can be sentimental about fucking animals, but not people, right? You can't imagine war whores like a family-friendly story of what it was like to be one of the millions of prostitutes that have serviced war throughout the
and not always consensually. If you see the comfort women,
sure, yeah,
in Korea, which I think after a while you just have to change. Like, I don't think you should be allowed to call those people comfort women. Like, that's not what they called themselves. Rape victims. I'll call you comfort women, huh? That sounds better, doesn't it? To us, makes us look better.
Well, history is written by the rapists. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of things like that, though. You find language disputed all the time, and, okay, that's got a role, but then the stuff that they print, honor killing.
Exactly, that's what
incest strangling.
Yeah.
I strangled my sister because she wanked someone off. It's honor, right?
Yeah. Well, aren't you a gentleman?
Yeah. I think crowds now, I find it difficult to empathise with crowds, and they're just drunk and falling about and shouting and stuff. Not all of them, but there's always an element of that on a weekend, and you're just like, I've not done this for fucking 20 years, so I have no idea where you're coming from, and I don't like people. And, I can't really fucking deal with it anymore.
I don't understand people that don't know themselves by that point. Like you see a 35-year-old guy hammered at 7 o'clock in the evening. So,
yeah.
Didn't you know what was going to happen? Like, you're still doing shots? You're a grown man. You did fucking tequila 1, tequila 2, tequila 3, tequila 4. Do you know, like, how hard it is to be around you, sir? Like, any of your loved ones probably kind of wish you dead.
Yeah. The last gig I did before I went to London for a wee run was at the Stand in Glasgow, and some woman was totally pissed and just kept fucking kicking an ice bucket under her table right at the front and shouting and stuff. And her fucking husband had to get up, had to stop the show and go off so her husband could come over and kind of hug her and take her out the venue. It was a fucking 5 o'clock start on a weekday, man. Just like, you're like, this is like depression. This isn't fucking a kind of Viking good time that Scotland's having. This is like a fucking depressed nation that needs an intervention from a fucking happier country, you know? Like fucking Chile or something coming
I think that's what William of Orange was trying to do.
Look at these colours! Let's have a little march.
Yeah.
Yeah? Get the blood flowing.
Yeah.
Who brought in the majorettes to that march, you know? Like, we need a grown man doing majorette exercises. Okay. You think it'll help? Yeah.
Fucking show who's whose boss. Like how much? Like how much was that an acquiesce? Like, was he gonna have them throwing each other in the air too?
They just couldn't get into the cartwheels, unfortunately. It's like the most depressing parade in the world, man. Not a single float. Not a single fucking giant head.
Men. Just men.
Dressed in bowler hats.
Say. That's all you need.
I have very firm views on Irish history. You don't sound Irish. I've never been.
Yeah, that's you don't have to protest those parades too. That's not going to last. You know that won't go. That's got one generation left, and then no, we don't want to go see the men walk and think about history.
We could go and see the cars burning and the car chase and the stunt driving, or we could go and see the men walking. What do you think?
Oh, well, it's on the same day. Oh no.
You can keep your monster trucks. We have men walking.
Sour-faced, angry men. Hey, come on. The sour-faced, angry men are really going to walk this year out. They should do like a monster truck advert for it. Like just all these different faces. Men. Walking.
Can you be good at that? Oh, look at him. He's going to be a star.
The finest walking men.
Dad, I just want to walk.
Well, I. One day, son.
A dad who wants his son to learn how to be a dancer, but the son just wants to walk bitterly in a march.
He's no son of mine.
It's also God Save the Queen when your life expectancy is in the low 50s. God save the Queen. They seem to live to about 102 on average.
Yeah, that'll that'll make it better. As long as that lady's still alive, because God knows there's not somebody who's been groomed since they were 3 years old to take her place. Save that particular one, because, fuck the rest of them. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Well, hopefully that, along with those marches, the royal family will soon follow. You know, I don't even mind that they exist. Like, I just think it's ridiculous that they're, you know, in gold carriages and people give a fuck, you know, which is, it just goes to show you, like, if you could block them, if you could put a media block on them like you can with pornography, you wouldn't even know who they were after a while. Like they have to be on the news every day. They have to be on the money, and I still don't give a fuck about them.
Yeah.
You know.
And they do some pretty weird shit.
Yeah, everybody does. You ever heard of Jian Kameshi? I wonder if they turn their teddy bears around when they're like, okay, we're going to be diplomats, but we're also going to be arm dealers. Ooh, Mr. Big Ears doesn't have to see this. Yeah, anytime you see the Queen turning a teddy bear around, get the fuck out of there. I ate a fuckload of asparagus the other night. I don't know if you remember that, but
Appalling, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of asparagus. And then I forgot about it. And then in the morning, I took a big pee. And then I realized there wasn't a towel in the bathroom. So I got went and had to get one. And Kathleen had to walk into the bathroom after a big asparagus piss.
I thought you needed a towel to like fucking wipe your dick clean.
Yeah, well, of course. That was like crazy piss. I get weird when I piss. No, I just felt bad. She didn't say anything, but she was.
The state of that toilet is often in from young Thor, who only eats 2 meals, pizza and pasta. That's nothing. That is nothing.
Yeah, she just tuned it out. She stopped breathing in there for a year. Because sometimes find her passed out if she's in there for any length of time.
She's like a pearl diver when she goes in there. 3-minute window to change the towels.
Yeah. Yeah. Why the fuck did people like pearls?
I don't know. They dissolve in Coke, don't they? Yeah, you can dissolve a pearl.
Really?
If you so wish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spill Coke at a fancy party. You could get some pearls. Dumb and Dumber style. I can't imagine the fancy pearl bedecked party that we would be invited to, but if we were.
Yeah, we'd be with our pearl earrings on. Finally got some use out of these things. No, I had another thing to say there. We went off into a different tangent.
You've been enjoying Band-Aid?
Haven't heard the song yet.
Live Aid, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I haven't heard this song yet. It's the same fucking song with some of the same cunts in it. I'm gonna reserve judgment till.
Could you imagine if it was just a great song?
No, nobody can.
No. Well, even when you're going to fight Ebola,
They don't care about Ebola.
No. I think it should have been a song that they had to include a pun with Ebola in the title. So it had to be a cover song. Shake, rattle, Ebola or something.
Ebola, lot of love.
Ebola love. Ebola love. You've been jumping boulders in
The fog on the Tyne is all mine, also Ebola. Maybe it could be the B-side. He's done fucking well, hasn't he? Like a singer in a fucking shit band no cunt has ever heard of. And now he's suddenly fucking, the Earl of Africa.
Well, I Don't Like Mondays was a good song. But, like I never understand how bands can do that. Just one good song and then they're like, we're out of ideas. There's no reason that song's better than the U2 songs from that era.
Yeah, sure.
Why did
he saw another path, and that was getting white people to sing about Africa.
Yeah.
Factually incorrectly about Africa. There's this whole idea of like, it seems so obvious that it's a publicity thing and that it's part of these people's profile and how they want to be viewed and stuff like that. It's almost not worth saying. It's almost now like culture is so fucking banal and repetitive. Because at the time when Band-Aid happens, you're like, oh God, this is fucking awful. I can't believe people are into it. That's how fucking terrible the 80s are. And then as you go along, you're like, oh, they can just keep re-releasing the same record and the same sorts of people will buy it and nothing will ever change.
Yeah. Well, I see comedy going that way now too, where people are like there's not even jokes anymore. They're just, well, it's comedy activism. Like, well,
Yeah.
you need a punchline. You can't just go up and go, wouldn't it be great if everyone got along? Yes, it would, you simpleton. How do you propose? Hey, man, sometimes it's not about jokes. It's about just liking things. Okay.
What I find about those things is like those people often come from very privileged backgrounds and you're like, well, that's kind of the interesting thing about you. So I saw one of them doing a routine about, oh, I'm in this posh airport and, it's £2 for whatever, fucking Kit Kat. And I think, but I like the fucking poshness of it and at least I have something in common with, these people in the City of London. And you're like, no, what you have in common with them is you went to school with them. Like, you know them. Yeah. And you went to university with them and then you decided to do something different. And actually, that's really interesting. Like, the thing about yourself that you try to hide is actually, like, fascinating for comedy, I think.
Yeah. Somebody had to tell you what a charity shop was so you could go buy that jumper. There's your first bit.
There's a thing, isn't there, about this thing in comedy about punching up. I read something about Tim Minchin, and I like Tim Minchin, and the women's going, he's run out of up to punch. He's taken on all the big targets like the Pope and astrology, and you list all these things, right? Alternative medicine, and you're like, no, that's not punching up. Like, everybody thinks astrology is stupid. Like, if he took on astronomy, I mean, that would be amazing. Like, because that's like where the power is. But, the idea of that just doesn't even... And what it is at heart is that those people have certain tastes, right? So they want to hear something about why you don't like homeopathy or something, right? Which is not difficult.
And is that punching up? Like, are they really using the star charts to to run the banks? It's just, astrology is just for a bunch of really lonely people. Really, really lonely people. And the way I just sort of look at it, like, I don't agree with it either. I think it's fucking ridiculous to think that there's 12 different kinds of people on the planet and every one of them is going to have the same day. It's like, so all the Virgos in prison are going to go through that same day, All the Pisces living in abject poverty in Mexico City are going to have a lucky number 17.
I did meet a dark stranger. He was right.
He stole my kidney. So yeah, like, it's just it's easy. But if you look at even when you go after religion, like, you can go after the big power structures that run religion, but do you really want to take the faith away from a poor a Nicaraguan farmer that just fucking loves the shit out of Jesus Christ? Like, is that punching up?
Yeah. Well, I think it's also this. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that our foreign policy was run by astrology, because it looks that way. It's just discriminate against 11/12 of the people in quite a random way. But also, it's attributing moral force to what are really just your preferences. So you're like, oh, I'd like to hear something about homeopathy. That's fine, But to say, oh, that's like, fighting the power, and you're like, well, it's not. You just like it. You know, you can't say everything you like is...
It's on the same page as the cartoons. He finally took Garfield to task once he got through with the astrology.
It literally lists a load of stuff like that. It's unbelievable. And you're like, well, I don't know. If you were talking about punching up, wouldn't it be talking about IS and Syria and British foreign policy and the City of London and the corruption within government and MPs strangling kids? And none of that ever seems to come up.
Well, because you're not going to fill the stadium.
Yeah.
You're like, if you punch up, but make sure it's a long arm that you're punching it with too, I hope none of you guys are from Vatican City, because you're not going to like this next one.
I just find that you've got to... People sort of know that comedy's supposed to be like that, don't they? Or they've got some idea of George Carlin and Hicks and Lenny Bruce and all that kind of stuff. And they've got some folk memory of what it's supposed to be. So then they have to produce people going, oh, yeah, I'm sort of like that. I'm going to do a thing about why I don't like Keith Lemon. That's sort of like George Carlin.
Well, what any critic of comedy or reviewer seems to not understand when they write a review is that you can't control what you write about. Like it's just you could sit and think about a subject for as long as you want, but you really, like, if the funny thought comes in my head, I'm just going to say it. I don't give a fuck which way the punch went, as long as it landed. I'm just showing you my brain. And sometimes it's beautiful and sometimes it's ugly, but sometimes ugly is beautiful. Who are you to decide, like, the perfect thoughts, you fucking thought Hitler? Oh, we only want well-formed and equal thoughts and very symmetrical thoughts. I've got some real fucking trolls that live in my head, and I'm going to let them out amongst the wonderful, beautiful thoughts, because I'm not a thought racist.
And also, and it feels panicky to bring this up, it's not a punch. If you say something to 200 people in Derby, I wonder if they felt that one in Washington, huh?
I think you should be allowed to punch people who claim comedy should punch up. You should be allowed to uppercut them. And then go, was that okay?
A lot of short guys talking a lot of shit about comedy these days. Very difficult to get an angle on them.
That's been happening for years.
It's weird, though. It goes completely unchallenged. Well, of course it does, because, if anyone challenged it, they'd be punching up. Get him out of here. There's a good thing they always say as well, which goes along the lines of, it's okay for someone to do that, but I'm not sure that all the audience are going to understand it, I don't know how everybody takes that. And it really boils down to, I'm not sure that poor people get irony. Isn't that just for us? I mean, we understand.
I thought one of the funny things when Andrew Lawrence made us sing, and it was to some extent true about right-wing comedians, is it is harder for them to get on television, but for the amount of grief he took for talking about women, the amount of people who just flat out used the same arguments of right-wing comics, the same people use for women, like, well, there's just not enough stars, so that's why they don't get on television. There's not a pool to choose from, Andrew. their minds, they are not inherently funny people, okay? Right-wing comics aren't funny. If you just change women to anything said about right-wing comics, it's the exact same.
Well, I'd like to go further with that. There aren't any fucking right-wing comics on telly because they're fucking shit. Because, really, even like the most, who's the funniest right-winger? Like PJ O'Rourke. He's maybe like very slightly funny in the way that you'd had to have a fucking meeting with someone and they turned out to not be a complete fucking bore. That's about as funny as the right wing gets. Because ultimately audiences don't like people fucking, I'm going to say it, punching down. They're punching down those fuckers. Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious where fucking up is and where power is, and we all sort of know it. What I don't like about kind of any simple thing where people go, don't do that, do this, don't do that, is that it tends to just ignore complexity and ignore all the interesting stuff. And the interesting stuff is what you are and aren't allowed to talk about. So you aren't really allowed to talk about foreign policy. Very difficult to get a joke on. I just did a certain live at the Apollo and I'm sure all that will come out, but I just did it anyway. But you are allowed to talk about banks and finance and banks being corrupt and all that kind of stuff. And you have to think, what's the reason for that? Maybe the reason is people just don't understand it, so you can say what the fuck you like. Or maybe the reason is people don't emotionally engage with it, so you can say what the fuck you like. But there's certainly some reason that you're able to talk about something that any propaganda model would say, they won't let you talk about that. They don't talk about it on the fucking news very much, but they can talk about it in comedy. You know, it shuts off the interesting question.
I think it gets populist after a while, and people, because I had a big bit about the banks and, you know, dined out on it for many years. But it got, because it pissed so many people off, I think that the powers that be kind of realize if we don't let them talk about this, this is going to blow up on the internet. Same with that fucking Dapper Laughs idiot who, you know, because he really looked good. The guy looks really good because not only could he have done his sold out tour, he could have gone back to the internet, more famous than he was before, do worse things than he was doing before, and become a real cult hero. That guy could have been selling out stadiums if he could have lived with "you smell like shit" into the face, yelling that into the face of a homeless guy. But even he was just like, man, I'm just a cruise ship dancer. I can't do the end game on this. But, you know, like anytime, I think it's television starting to realize they don't have the power, you know? Like anytime, if they were to go, okay, nobody's allowed to talk about the banks, then there would just be a much more popular internet television show that would do it, you know?
Sure. See what I was thinking, Glenn? Do you know who I think must be some of the most persuasive people in the world are army recruitment? Because if you're sitting there going, well, I can't promise there's a job at the end of this. You know, there's camaraderie, good pay packet. Can't promise at the end of this that you will have your face or legs.
No.
Would you like to swap a medal for your eyes?
Do you love straws? Because if you like, we'll get you a crazy bendy one, and that's where all your meals will come into your face.
I say face.
Yeah, your thing. We'll call it a thing, and we won't look at it. We'll just watch your happy bendy straw bring your pablum into your half a system that you have left.
I say we'll do that. We won't.
No.
It's charity does that, apparently.
Yeah, but on November 11th, we'll kind of think of you, but not you specifically, because you are like a fiddler crab without its legs. That's our nickname for you.
And this is before you even get out there. You've not even signed up yet. Look at the way we're taunting you to your face.
You ginger cunt.
First of all, we've got to decide on your nickname before you go into barracks these days.
Yeah.
Too much pressure on a mercenary army to come up with witty names for people. So
we don't go to the poets anymore. There was the first to go, and they were the major nicknamers.
We've got a couple of writers in here.
Although major nicknamer is still here. He's risen through the ranks.
We don't call him that, obviously.
Blackie.
We call him Taffy. Because he loves toffee apples. Is that what taffy is? I don't know. Cotton candy? Get the writers in.
And then just military editors. No.
Look at Dave here. He was in the footlights at Cambridge. Now he's got to stand round here and think of names for cunts like you.
That's what happens. You have a bad Edinburgh, and this is where you end up. Avalon will get you on the fucking military circuit writing nicknames for people who could frankly make up their own nicknames. I have them come in with child rapist, arsonist, all the nicknames that make people join the army.
What else should we talk about, Glenn?
Oh, I remembered. Oh, speaking. Yeah, my aunt, I told you my aunt's been very unwell, and it caused a great deal of concern in the family. And now she's out of hospital, and she's feeling as better as you can after something like that. But I wrote. There was a string of emails that were going around to everyone in the family, and there was there was no like funniness in any of these emails. It was all like the family worried that my aunt was very ill, and we were all trying to just tell everybody how much that we meant to each other, through email. And I wrote a heartfelt one, and I just ended it with "I love you guys," just so everyone in my family knew that I loved them. And then I called my mom and dad about a day later, and they were like, "It's like, what's wrong with you guys? Our aunt is ill." And they're like, You haven't read your email, have you?" Like, why would I read my own email? I left some words out. So I ended a heartfelt email with P.S. I love guys.
I love guys. Can you put me onto your subconscious mind, Glenn? He sent me an email.
I don't remember sending an email. I remember having a lovely dinner with Bill Cosby, a glass of wine, one glass of wine, then I woke up 48 hours later on the stairs. Yeah. So I used my aunt's illness to come out of the closet to my whole family. Like, what an odd time. Well, seeing as we're all we're all sharing. There was I remember there used to be a football player called Brian Cox, and he was a very good football player, and he was one of my favorites, and I didn't know he'd switched teams. He was playing for I think.
All right, he'd actually switched teams. I thought this was going to be a story about him coming out.
No. It was
It's actually a formal football transfer.
Yeah. But it happened in the bye week.
Did he kick with both feet?
It depends what you're trying to do.
Right. Oh. You are the last person I wanted to do that to me. Even with your left.
So I was watching the Thanksgiving football, and again, the whole family, like almost every male in my family was watching the TV. And I didn't know that gentleman had switched teams. So I didn't know he was playing, and he was one of my favorite players. And they just said, number 47 in on the tackle. And I went, oh! I love cocks. A lot of shoulder looking. Jesus Christ.
I'm checking this out on Google, and he never switched teams.
Oh, he did. He did. I was having one of my episodes, and then I had to go to a special camp all summer. And, that was more of a training camp.
Right, it's a good nickname for you. It's Camrag. Now, the reason the writer's chosen that name is he is psychic. He is calling you cum gargler.
Cum gargoyle. Because you're kind of ugly, too. That's actually a good one. Cum gargoyle. Yeah, I was in the forces. I was in the nicknaming platoon. We'd go in, and I mean, people think in the army that you just nickname in-house. No, we'd nickname the enemy.
Special forces job, yeah. Get out of there.
Yeah, taunt them.
Towel heads.
Oh, yeah. Camel jockeys. That's one of ours. People don't realize that war is actually it's like technology. It's where most nicknames come from. And then you apply it. It's like tinfoil, but actually.
It's like the digital watch.
It's not like him. Is he back? I thought he retired.
No, him and tinfoil are out in Qatar. Special Black Ops mission. He's there as well.
Yeah.
I always think it's racist to call him Black Ops.
That doctor. That African doctor.
I think it's quite harsh on referring to his short-sightedness as well.
If you do it far enough away, he's not aware who did it. So. It's a lot of people don't know where it actually came from. We were put together in the First World War. We actually taunted the Germans out of the trenches.
There weren't Germans in those days. It was just a generic nickname we came up with for a bunch of people we didn't like.
It started with this one lad named Jerry.
We herded everyone with the name Jerry into Central Europe and then persecuted them.
Yeah, like fucking like sheepdogs, just taunting them into a huge herd, and then they rumbled across.
That is why Hitler always had everybody state his name.
Hitler's not his real name. Who do you think gave him a nickname Hitler? That was Her Royal Majesty's Monarchus.
It's because he fucked a dolphin. That's where he got his name. Anally.
And he used his anus to fuck that dolphin.
Adolf. Oh, he didn't like that.
Your conscience has to come into it sometimes, because if you make something you know is going to be bad, you just know it's got no redeeming qualities, you're actually, in your own small way, contributing to the end of the world. Yeah. You're destroying the planet.
It's the most hideous review of Mock the Week I've ever heard.
You haven't heard them all, Frank. Those are the ones we let you see.
There's a thing now of actresses writing in there about like loads of casting stuff just comes to them, and it's like, we're looking for a female dead body aged 25 and a rape victim and a woman who can play scared and all that stuff. And like a lot of acting work for women is victims, and there's a kind of slightly pornographic. I mean, if you watch mainstream crime stuff on TV or even just drama, there's a lot of fucking naked female dead bodies, and there's a lot of battered women and murder victims and stuff. Pretty fucking creepy.
Well, you got to start watching different shows, Frank.
Well, I'm loving it. Yeah.
I once watched a German rom-com in Australia. Like, I was just came home after the gig, and it was just, they've got a weird channel that plays like foreign cinema, and it was just like a, you know, I sort of was enjoying it, like going, oh, this is how the Germans do a rom-com, and subtitled, but, you know, light and breezy and airy, and then right in the middle, a guy just beats a woman to death and puts her in a bag and throws her in the lake, and then the rest of the movie is about this guy trying to get out of... I was like, what the fuck? You can't... Come on, Gunter. Don't do that. And it made me wonder, like, did Germans know that was going to happen? Like, was it like the darkest lake, or is that a German rom-com? Yeah, and then humorously he beats her to death and throws her in the lake, and then it has to get, you know, the rest of it is the harebrained schemes that he tries to get out of it with. My uncle fucked a dolphin. Whoa. Yeah, and that's where Jerry Bruckheimer came from.
It's called 4 nationwide manhunts and no funeral.
There was no funeral. They never found about him. Closed casket. You decide where you think she is. There's a gravestone here, but the body is haunting the lake. And we will make the sequel about fishermen who catch her soul in a piece of herring that they were trying to get a trout with.
We need to make another movie about a woman who is drowned or beaten or gassed or smashed against a tree. That's pretty much everything, isn't it? I mean, you can like put on fucking BBC at 8 o'clock in the evening, and there's just like some fucking women being thrown into machinery, and it's just, there's no two ways about it. It's because it's made by guys. You know, you're just like
guys in bad marriages. Okay, you can change anything you want, but the name of that woman stays the same as in the script.
I don't even think they're in bad marriages. I think they're in marriages that they're making bad because they want to throw women into machinery and crash them into fucking walls. Honey, I just tried to help. I read your script there, and do you think maybe, like, all the women couldn't be hacked to fucking pieces and thrown down a well?
Yeah, honey, I want to bring up some plot points with you, but can we do it downstairs? I just want to be away from the stairwell. Yeah, well, I'm always surprised just how much dramas can do whatever the fuck they want, you know?
Yeah.
Invoke anything they want, like the Holocaust or rapes or anything. And they're like, well, it's a drama. It's a drama about that. We'll be selling advertising in it. No, don't get me wrong. We will be profiting off of rape. But, you know, God forbid anybody tell a joke that just has the theme in it, you know, and not even, you know.
Yeah.
Because
newspapers in the news.
As we know, most rapes punch up.
Was I thinking about that thing? Yeah, there's an extent to which, I mean, what they really ask for in comedy is for you to kind of sweep your stuff so that nothing could be offensive to anyone. And you're just like, that's not how reality is. Something's offensive to everyone. A newscaster going, oh, we get an extra hour in bed today because the clocks go back or whatever. If you're a paraplegic, that's incredibly offensive. If you're a quadriplegic, you can't even put the fucking clock back. You're going to wait fucking 6 months. You're offended for 6 months.
You have to remember. Oh, but you'll remember. There's very little you forget.
Honey, I was reading your script and there's bits where it's just my name and stuff we've said to each other that ends with me being thrown into a meat locker. And it's not explained how I keep coming back to life. I mean, I get I get hacked up and thrown into a well at the end of scene 3, and then in scene 4, I'm talking to you as I am talking now, like literally these words. And what are you doing?
You have to think whoever wrote the series Heroes, the first series of Heroes, was very rejected by a cheerleader at some point. Boy, this cheerleader keeps dying. She would fucking die. She's taking a lot of shots here. Oh, she fucking. You should. Yeah. We're gonna have to do something with this plot point. All right, we'll do whatever you want with it, but she keeps dying.
If you came into your kid's bedroom and he was 15 and he had painted a mural that was basically, British mainstream drama at 9 o'clock of a Saturday evening, you would be fucking horrified. Fucking women hanging in fucking meat lockers and blue faces underwater and fucking, sex slave rings. And you're like, what the fuck? This is their seething, maggot-ridden fucking psyche. And then you make a fucking joke about Bill Cosby.
Yeah. Well, and not even like gritty crime dramas, but, even like goofy ones where Poirot or Angela Lansbury. Like, Could you imagine if instead of murder, they always had to solve a rape?
I used to have a joke about that.
Oh, really?
Rape, she wrote, yeah.
Well, and here's, I don't know if I talked about this before, but do you know who Angela Lansbury's daughter was in the Manson family?
What?
I ever told you that?
No.
Yeah, out before the murders, apparently. But a lot of people were in the Manson family, Angela Lansbury's daughter being the most famous, and that's what I said. Funny. Never tried to solve that one.
She never wrote about that. Why did she be quiet?
Yeah, that was a big murder. That's the one everyone knows about.
Do you know who the first people picked up for the Sharon Tate murders were?
The Bee Gees.
Almost. The Mamas and the Papas. Yeah.
Really?
The Mamas and the Papas were Polanski's coke dealer. That's where he got his coke from.
Okay.
And they had been round there the previous evening. And they all got picked up and roasted. There's something that was...
What kind of coke dealers travel in fours?
Sometimes you need to fucking harmonise a deal,
Or there was that much coke. Mama Cass wasn't a large lady. That was cocaine.
Mama Cass, you were a terrible advert for our product. You have to stay at home.
Yeah. Mama, stay in the car. We're trying to get a lot of money for this. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of those bands. I mean, it's now coming out with the... they're just getting the DJs. They're not actually getting into the bands for the exact same behavior.
That's the power structure, isn't it? That pedophile played my pedophile record. Get him. It was sweet little 16. I mean, aren't they picking you up? Fucking Chuck Berry and get these fuckers. I think there's a Stones song where it's, I don't care about your age. No, I don't want to see your ID. Get in the bed. That could mean anything. It's a metaphor for pedophilia.
Well, I think there's one Beatles song where it's like little girl. Like they just keep going, little girl. Bang Bang Maxwell's Silver Hammer. He beats a woman to death with the hammer.
Yeah. They also wrote Little Children for someone else. The Beatles. You remember that?
No.
Little Children, Stop Hanging Around Here. It's a guy trying to fuck their sister. But she could be any age. They had to give it to someone. They couldn't even... We can't say this.
Yeah, we... But did you know that either Peter or Paul, I'm not sure which, but he's been to jail for pedophilia. Because he got caught in the 70s. Some autograph seekers came to his hotel room and he fucked one of them. Yeah. But yeah, he served time. He served
Paul and Mary.
out of Peter, Paul, and Mary, and
What did they sing again?
Puff the Magic Dragon.
Of course.
On Jimmy Carter's last day in office, he exonerated him.
Wow.
Yeah, so thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, okay, so the children's song singer that's been in jail for pedophilia he's okay. You don't think he'll do that again?
What's he gonna do?
Well, he's probably going to put that big Barney suit on again. Start working children's parties. High flying adore. Holy crow, man. We've only got, we almost, it's almost 2. Good.
All right, we back on. We're in a studio for this album, and it's going to be different for people who heard any of our early stuff. It might be a bit like R.E.M. You know, they preferred it when they couldn't really hear the words.
Yeah, yeah. This overproduced. Yeah, I like the subtitle days myself. I was trying to turn the sound. Sorry, I've got a new phone here that I don't actually know how to turn it on. Vibrate on ring? Vibrate, okay. Sorry, everyone. I'm not cool like you.
It's all right.
We've got a nickname for guys like you.
Oh, no. Oh, I knew this day was coming. Well,
General's actually a nickname for people who just don't really understand the specifics of the mission. They tend to get over-promoted. It's all nicknames. The quartermaster is actually a dwarf.
who owns a cotton farm?
I'd like to think of a nickname for the privates, but I can't find out anything about them.
And you're not allowed to touch them. Did you know if you take a colonel and heat him in oil, he pops up to 8 times his natural size? That's not true, by the way.
Don't try that out.
No. They tried it in an ISIS video, and it was just a lot of screaming. And then not
More than normal.
more. Yeah. Yeah, he lived, but didn't want to.
You got a bunch of them together in a bucket. And to be honest, the screaming really reached its peak when they forced them to watch Fast and the Furious 6 together with a giant. Before that, they were handling it, really. I don't think the salt helped.
It was only the 3 that didn't pop. That was where most of the screaming came from. They tried to reheat them and pop them again, but it just, I don't know, it doesn't work.
What else were we talking about? That was a loud, clear ring.
Yeah.
Did you have an idea, Glenn?
Yes, I did. I thought, I don't know how this iPhone works. All right, here's how you do it. You put it on settings. Everybody at home's like, nope.
Settings and notifications off.
Or, right.
I've managed to get it so it only informs me when I get junk mail. I'm on a hotline to useless attempts to steal from me and women who want to fuck me in the Lanarkshire area, despite the fact that I don't live there.
But I can travel.
Women want sex in Lanarkshire. I know this. Why are you telling me? They can't have it.
Yeah. It's a series of buses that you do not want to drive. Oh, we were having a talk about pedophilia in the BBC at lunch, as you do. Well, we kind of both saw the football game together yesterday, so there wasn't much to talk about there. But apparently in the 50s, there's some child actors who had to be warned, like, don't let the...
Beware of the pedophiles.
Yeah, and this is pre-Savile. This is like 1950s England, and this is what never comes up at a BNP or a Britain First rally. Like, we need to take it back to the days where pedophiles roam free at the BBC.
All right, literate. What is wrong with that culture of entertainment? Hey, it's deep in your culture.
You don't get fucking the cast of Seaside Special getting together to have to explain that this isn't what all entertainers are like. Our community is very saddened by this. Savile couldn't have been more white. It was like he was trying to make a point.
The shell suits, arguably.
They've tried to ask him on Ouija board, but it's pretty much just vowels. Do
you know who didn't like the nicknames? Always complaining about it. Snipers. Always complaining behind your back.
Well, you never know when you've upset a sniper. You don't even hear the fucking gunshot.
Ever told you a story about her?
That'd be great. The snipers' nicknames are all Big Cock, Ladies Man, Ruler of the Universe.
I did a gig one time in Dumfries.
Oh,
and,
yes.
This lady and her pal, who were a couple of students, knew my daughter. So they lived near my daughter and they used to play with her and all that kind of stuff. So they asked for tickets to the show and they came along. And afterwards, we're sitting talking to them. And one of the acts that's along with us is an Australian gentleman who is...
Well, first of all, I don't believe you.
This is all true.
No, it's just the Australian gentleman part.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, you're hanging out with an oxymoron. All right.
He's a sexually persistent gentleman.
Okay, I believe that.
So this girl's there. She's engaged, right? So we're talking about my kid, and we're having a laugh. And he's like, so, engaged, are you? She's like, yeah. And he keeps hitting on her. And eventually goes, so what does he do? She's like, he's a sniper. He's a sniper in the army. And he's in Afghanistan at the minute. And the guy just, literally takes him about 2 beats. And he goes, must be away from home a lot. It's like, the last trouble you need.
Yeah, that is a very specific sexuality. I like to fuck snipers' wives. I think as a child I was fucked by a sniper's wife. That's why.
I think I could spend the rest of my life never walking in front of a window.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be fucking their wife. I just like to agitate snipers. Any way I can. I like to point them out in war zones. He's over here. Look, he's in that tree over there, not 20 yards from me. He's right there. That's the worst sniper rifle.
It was better than the Australian boys.
Spat on him. Do you think snipers are they great spitters too? Like just any aim thing?
Anything. They're like Bullseye. Like Bullseye in the comics, playing cards, a peanut, anything. They just kill you with it, man. They've got nothing else to do. They're sitting around for fucking 20 hours waiting for you to lift your helmet up to scratch your temple. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
They're just really patient.
Snipers, they like to put itching powder into the wind.
The desert must be amazing for them.
There's no way you're just standing still in this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you want the heat or the bullet? Because one of them's going to kill you.
There was an Iraqi sniper who killed lots of American soldiers. And it was just when your vest stops fitting, your bulletproof vest, if you put on a couple of pounds, you just raise up ever so slightly and you can get in under your bottom rib. Just fires in under there. It only needs like an inch gap at the bottom and you're dead. And he killed a bunch of people doing that. So
Don't overdo it at Christmas in Baghdad, which they don't celebrate that much anyway. Pretty much every day is Halloween for us.
Can you imagine, like, you're already you're at an illegal war, party you haven't been invited to, and you're away from home, and now you can't eat either. You got a fucking supermodel around the desert going, "I'll just have a salad."
it's another day of practicing standing very still in a direct wind with sand in it.
Yeah, luckily we brought some freedom over with us.
What was their mission there after a while?
I'm trained at police force.
Yeah, that's gone badly.
No, well, we were hoping that a guy with sounds, who made a lot of sounds, would come in and run really big guy and a couple of inappropriately Japanese characters.
Where's Gutenberg? Get Gutenberg out there. He's not doing anything else. Put together Iraqi police
that
academy.
has to be the next police academy.
Cosby could fucking get in there. A lot of people are going to be struggling for work who's going to end up in those police academy films. Bill Cosby, Stills and Nash. The police academy noises guy just wouldn't be able to make himself heard over all the fucking drones and bombs.
Yeah, they just think it was funny someone only had an Uzi. It's okay, it's just Uzi.
It's the till noise behind you, can't you? Sorry, it sounded like a 5,000-pound bomb landing on my village. It was R2-D2, okay? I'm deaf anyway. We all are.
What?
All they see is him moving his lips and think he's constantly trying to call a cat over. Is he doing that? Where is this cat?
I think there was one other thing. I wrote it down yesterday.
Here's an interesting thing. Do you know what else was happening during the LA riots? Not just the death of Iceberg Slim, possibly witnessed by Mike Tyson and Don King. The finale, the final episode of The Cosby Show. It's true. Went out in the middle of the LA riots. And almost as if they were trying to sedate people by putting on this finale of the most popular show. So he was a sort of living sedative. There's a great James Ellroy novel there, like a black James Ellroy novel about all the
Iceberg
path
Ellroy.
crossing. Yeah. Or like a really bad novel about them all fucking trying to make up for their crimes. Because really they're like the three types of rape. They're drug rape, violent rape, and sort of coercive rape. And if they sort of, during the LA riots, tried to get Bill Cosby's stash into the reservoir to calm the populace, and fucking Tyson just hurled the dying iceberg Slim at the reservoir like a javelin, clutching Bill Cosby's cocktail shaker.
And you also forgot accident rape. That's where a series of unfortunate events. Perhaps a tumble down the stairs, a slip on some ice that coincides with penetration. I mean,
it's never worked as a defense.
Well, not twice.
Don't Google me. In my defense, can I say don't Google me?
Yeah. and here I was showering and I stepped on the soap and whoa, 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 whoa.
To illustrate this, I've brought out the game Mousetrap.
The tones of the rape whistle and the consent whistle are too close, Your Honor. I know you ask yourself, what's a consent whistle? Well, here's one that I've found.
I'm not a rapist. I'm just tone deaf. You can't jail a guy for being horny and not musical. Unless it's Lenny Kravitz. I mean, give him 10 years.
I think you'll find Phil Spector is still serving a lot of time. That's crazy, man. These connections you make, do you have like a big list of things on calendars and you just go back and like, well, now that Bill Cosby's evil, let's just see. Okay, Bill Cosby's birthday? No, nothing. The Hindenburg, that's not applicable.
It's reality, man. It's trying to tell us something. Like,
yeah.
we don't know what it is.
I think the elephant on acid is now controlling time.
They're talking there about how an elephant was given a big dose of acid in a famous experiment and just lay down quivering with fear and died. I felt like that on acid.
What they don't say is that before that, the Hindu religion did not exist. And then
just thought it into being.
Yeah. Yeah, they were Pentecostal up until the 60s. And then, some magic elephant fractured time. But I don't think that has anything to do with all that acid we gave that elephant. I think that just happened sometimes.
Pakistan was actually a Methodist split off, and Gandhi was a bun. Oh, they all love Gandhi. And it's because he was a bun in the elephant's imagination.
I'm just glad my God doesn't have a bendy nose. It'd be tough to take him seriously. Moses? Yeah. Whoa. What do you want?
Well, I'm going to show you how to cross the Red Sea, because this thing is like a fucking snorkel. 20,000 people drown behind him. Where was everybody?
Yeah.
Maybe all the other religions ended happily before the elephant fucking broke time. You know, Jesus just ended with him maybe throwing a few fucking chocolate bars about and flying off into the sky, and then the elephant took over and suddenly he's fucking nailed to a
Sent
cross.
him back. Get out of heaven. You're going back. It's gonna be weird, elephant. Weirder than this? No. No, actually. Now that you say it. Get behind that boulder. I'm gonna send them.
Why did Jesus come back?
You forgot something.
Oh, and another thing. Don't fucking nail me to a cross again.
Yeah. Turns out wounds last into the afterlife, you dicks. And now I have a person that follows me around and gets my change for me. because I'm fucking leaking over here. Anything that goes in my hands doesn't go in my hands.
Yeah, Jesus. It's just going to be a tough sell, this whole religion, that you've come back and said you're really angry that we killed you and you're going to slowly boil the planet. So let's put some hope in there. Hope's overrated, man. It's the hope that fucking hurts people. Hope, you know, I understand why we don't want people without hope, because they're realists. Nobody likes realists. Has anyone done anything? You haven't seen an elephant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love them.
How many have you seen, do you reckon?
I was in northern Alberta once. We'd driven for 10 hours to get to the gig. But it was summertime, and, you know, it's just boring. It's boring on tour in northern Alberta. There's nothing to do. And we were driving, and the comic, an old road dog who kind of, you know, he'd seen his best years, and this was as good as it was ever going to get. Just fucking touring northern Alberta until you die, which was probably pretty soon. You know, I'd imagine it's not the best life, not the best lifestyle.
So you and Ron Vaudrey are doing a tour. Where does the elephant come in?
Well, that's the thing. The circus was in town, and there was an elephant chained up in the parking lot of the Dairy Queen.
Shit.
And we drove past it, and he was speeding to just in the middle of town. I'm like, holy fuck. What? I'm like, did you see that elephant? Where? Like, if you don't, there's nothing I can add to the story. If you don't see an elephant in northern Alberta, beside the telephone pole. Oh, yeah, there's the elephant.
Some observational comedy for you, ladies and gentlemen.
You ever notice a door just locked, and your wife's on the other side of it, and you ain't gonna get to see your kids anymore? You ever notice that?
My wife, I think, is having an affair with a giant mechanical bee. That's what I can tell from the sounds coming through the bedroom door. I bought a giant newspaper and bust in on them both one time. And,
all that was left was the stinger. He'd got her in quite a sensitive spot, but she was getting it out there.
And I don't know how to tell you this, but all I could hear on the air was this sort of ghostly laughter of an elephant. I can't tell you how I recognize that sound, because it's a horrible story.
I usually don't notice elephants. I have a condition. I can't notice elephants. And it's never really come up except that one time, that little shit on his way to England. Oh, well, you're still opening for me, so fuck you.
I know fucking comics who would notice an elephant in the gig.
They would after the show. So you're in the, you were one of the hen do? Yeah. All right, let's fuck. You married? Okay, let's fuck. I watched that thing on the internet with the guy. I can't remember if I told you this earlier or we did it, so I'll just tell the story again. But there's an old man. He did an interview on the internet. He said he was like a NASA scientist, and he said that the aliens are real, and there's good ones and there's bad ones, and they speak by they just telepathically speak to you. Like they'll speak to you with your own voice in your own head. And I was like, well, that's why they've never made contact. They can read our fucking minds. You know, like as soon as they come down, they're like, okay, how many of them are thinking of fucking us? All of them. All of them want to fuck. What? Like all of them are like, I wonder if I could fuck that. I wonder, could I fuck its nose? How, do they fuck through their nose? Like, that would be all, and then we'd have, like, the president of the world come up, like, yes, we'd like to talk to you. And they're just looking there.
TripAdvisor review, don't go to Japan.
Yeah, they don't care that our skeletons are made of water. They really want to fuck us. I was thinking about that thing I was saying about people punching up and all that, and astrology and everything. You're like, some of these kinds of things are sort of related, aren't they? Of going, oh yeah, comics who attack, alternative medicine and debunkers. There's like sort of psychic debunkers like James Randi and sort of Dawkins as well. They're all sort of going, look at this stuff, it isn't real, and we're kind of like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to make Uri Geller look foolish. we know. We know it's not real. Yeah. We choose to fucking take other things from those stupid things for various reasons.
I'm looking forward to Richard Dawkins' expose on professional wrestling. Yeah, I've always found that about that too. Like, and you watch to a man every one of them, or a woman, depending on if a woman was doing it too. There's other things that aren't real in our society. You watch, you see how much they'd want to, like money. That's not real.
Yep.
So can I have your money, Richard? There's a purpose for it. Like, I'm not just going to give it to you. I know. So it's like a belief system. It's like God without any conscience. Is that what money is?
It's trying to sort of isolate bits of irrationality that you don't like in an almost entirely irrational world. So fucking this big thing about Myelin Class was, I couldn't believe it, actually on a show with Ed Miliband, to his face going, tax my mansion, you might as well tax a glass of water. You're like, no, because like everybody's a glass of water, only very rich people have mansions, He doesn't even say that, right? And then people are like, this is a terrible Myelin Class, and you're like, but she's not qualified in any way to talk about that. You live in a society that has put her in a position where she's on with the leader of the opposition talking about taxation.
Exactly, yeah.
And then go, well, that fucking reality show singer wasn't very qualified.
Yeah. Okay, well, we've learned our lesson, and from here on in, it'll be H from Steps.
Let a lion tamer have a crack at it. Yeah. Who else is in the audience?
Well, it was like you said about the BBC.
Oh, yeah, there's a show called People Telling Jokes, which I think they took off the internet. There was a thing called Old Jewish Guys Telling Jokes,
Right.
So they do a different thing every week, and it's like Irish people telling jokes or rabbis telling jokes or whatever. And it's just people, punters in the street, telling old two guys walked into a pub jokes, and it gets 400,000 people, so it gets like maybe 1 million less than you would expect at that time of night. And it's after something that gets like 2.5 million, so like literally 2 million people switch it off.
Yeah. Well, it'd be the same as just going into the street and handing instruments out. Saying, I wonder if anybody's capable of playing the trumpet.
Welcome to street carpentry. Well, I've produced this pile of wood shavings.
Oh, looks flammable. Oh, it is.
Yeah. But yeah, you can't complain if Myelin Class.
Yeah, why should she know?
She's an idiot.
Although, if she said that about a glass of water, that's ridiculous. You die without a glass of water. And I don't think anybody's died of mansion deficiency. You'd have to have a really big family.
Also, people do pay water rates. It's not like... It's just, I mean, there's nothing...
Yeah, I'm starting to get the feeling she really didn't know what she was talking about. Like she was some sort of entertainer up on a mansion on the hill, and I'm not kidding, that's where she lives.
It's like a yacht tax. I mean, it's like almost like it's really a tap-in of just, barely anybody's got this.
Yeah.
Anybody should pay a little extra money. They won't even know. Their PA will just sign a check once a year.
I think their problem is it's probably a tax they can't avoid. Like, I think, I think the accountants came out and went, yeah, they've really got you here. And they're not, I bet you they're not going after, they're going after the rich, but they're going after Saudi and Russians. That's who owns the mansions in England. So they're just trying to fucking get it to be like especially they overpay for mansions because they've got so much money, and then that's what bumps up the rest of the prices.
They'll
So.
take their mansions offshore. They'll literally become a kind of war island, a sentient war island. Yachts are pretty much that.
Just
Yachts are
all these-
taking your mansion offshore.
Yeah, all these cavities through Primrose Hill of where a mansion used to be. And it's just, they've actually helicoptered them into the air. So they're just a mansion hanging by 4 military helicopters.
The yacht, I think, doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know if you've been on a yacht, but it's not much fun, you know, because it's like being in a fucking really nice house that's moving in a sickening way.
Yeah.
And I think the thinking behind the yacht is get a yacht, stop off at Jersey, grab some children, go into international waters and kill them. I think that's pretty much what all
And what
all
we
yachts
need,
are used
what we
for.
need to do is tax every step of that. There's the orphanage tax. There's the sales tax at the orphanage. There's the mortgage tax. Make sure that at every step of their drowned fucking children off their yachts, that the government gets its slice. Well, we saw the Gigi Allen videos last night.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah. I was laughing about it today in the shower. Gigi Allen was a guy who was like punk who would sort of run into the audience naked. He sang naked. He rarely got through a bit more than 3 songs, it seemed, on a show, because he'd lash out at the crowd and punch them pretty hard in the face with the microphone while he screamed stuff about cancer. And
I believe the line was, die, 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 everybody's gonna die. If you got cancer, you're gonna die. If you've got AIDS, spread it around and take some lives. That was the time. See, I'd seen the documentary before, but when Frankie heard that song, he almost fell off the couch.
it was perfect. And there was a good bit where he sort of went to jail for a couple of years, I think for burning a woman with a cigarette. And then he came out and he'd worked out a bit, and he was able to then pick up people from the audience, drag them back to the stage, so like their friends could be of less help, and then he'd kind of get on top of them and punch them into the stage. And I felt like that so often.
I don't think you can be a performer and not quietly appreciate what he was doing. Like we've all had gigs where you think that's offensive? You don't like that? Well, luckily, I didn't have my pre-show shit. So I'm now going to... It's not enough that it's there. I'm going to sort of pick at it with my finger, take little dollops out and eat it, and I'll smear it on my face. I'm going to chase you into the hall. And I don't care if I don't get booked to do another corporate, because you people are cunts.
The documentary about it was called Hated. And the police would turn up to most shows and try and fucking drag him off after about the second number. That was pretty hardcore.
Yeah, well, I liked Dee Dee Ramone, who out of nowhere joins the band. Like,
He doesn't know what they're called.
yeah, they're like, so Dee Dee, why do you want to join the Murder Junkies? The Murder Junkies? I thought it was the Gigi Allen band. Am I in a different band? Oh no!
I think he had about 15 bands because they all found working with him so challenging. There was only so much watching someone punch the audience with a shitted one fist that they could say.
Well, I think if like you can go, that's Gigi all you want. Someone's gonna punch you. If there's a big punk fight going on and somebody's just taking a shit on the stage, they're not gonna like, oh, now it's time for my guitar solo. Just shut up. Keep playing. You're gonna have to fight soon, son.
He was great, man. There should be more. I'd love to see that on live at the Apollo or something like that. McIntyre's Roadshow. I'd have liked to have seen him get more mainstream, you know, as he went along, just maybe pissing on people. And...
I bet you, if he had stayed alive for another 2 years, we're talking rehab, fake teeth, and like guitar, like country music. Because actually, he does a fucking wicked cover of Carmelita.
Right.
The Warren Zevon classic. That's the one he was singing when he had the acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
He was actually talented. He wasn't just a fucking beanhead that, you know.
Yeah, there's something to what he's doing. There's a quote at the start of the movie about how he's about freedom of expression and stuff, but it's by John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you're gonna talk about art, dressing up like a clown and killing kids is actually the next level. Yeah. I wonder if Casey was just trying to go, I was a performance artist. I paint. Sometimes I'm a clown. Sometimes it's all, you gotta just look at it from a perspective.
Well, you know, some people are trying to play to crowds of 2,000 people. I'm just really trying to affect the lives of one family. And when I say one family, I mean like about 28 families.
No, I mean 74, 28 families.
There's that weird thing about Americans where people are like, oh, they don't care about anything, or it's just really shallow culture and stuff. You're like, no, they do care about stuff. It's just that it's things like teeth. You know, it's just like, they really, really care about teeth, you know.
Well, it's like the ill person that he just went on another shooting rampage in America, and all they can do, like, I mean, I watched that I feel sorry for the kid. Like, he's fucked up. He's been brought up in a fucked up society, but everyone's going, he's a misogynist. He's a misogynist and he's a racist, and that's why, and fucking every man is partly to blame. What he was actually saying, I watched those videos. His problem was he was a materialist.
Yeah. There's also that thing, isn't there, where people go, oh, it's not a sociological problem, it's a mental health problem. And you're like, they're the same thing. Your society is insane. It's like fucking, you know, they killed that soldier, those two guys who said there was some kind of Muslim endeavour or something. And people are like, well, it's, you know, is it, you know, being religious or being mentally ill? And you're like, that's the same thing. That's just... There's that thing as well, don't there, in court, it's not like crazy as a definition of, well, you killed someone, you must be crazy. You know, it's like, were you aware of your actions at the time?
Yeah. Well, that now Pistorius is, they're gonna.
It must be weird to have a whole planet going, yeah, you did.
I hope he gets found insane, because it's been a while since the planet has been able to call someone Crazy Legs. That's my favorite football nickname. I can't even remember what the last name of Crazy Legs was. Blade Runner, yeah. What's his name? Who directed Blade Runner? Ridley Scott. You're about to get your movie name back. Crazy Legs. Sorry, we're gonna appropriate that. But yeah, if he was crazy, he would add longer legs. Like, if you got to pick how long your legs were, you were crazy.
They'd be clanging together like a fucking wind chime. I think it's an advantage in the 100 meters that he's stepping it.
It just falls forward.
Well, you see me in the hurdles, motherfuckers.
And now he's unstrapping for the high jump. Just pushing his legs and the fucking pole vault away. Yeah, there's no limits to your legs once you're insane.
Yep.
That's what, yeah, it'd be great if they put his legs on trial. Are these the legs of a crazy man?
He should blame the legs.
special defensive incrimination.
Yeah, he submits the Spider-Man new costume edition.
The symbiote.
I found these legs on a broken comet. I put them on.
It can be very difficult for them to declare him sane if he starts conducting his own defense, cross-examining his own legs. Be a fucking bloody-minded judge. You should write to him or something.
I think you gotta double dip it. And one leg is good and the other one's evil. So you're sort of bouncing around on one as evil legs on the stand.
That's why I always kill people in a circle. You know?
Me and Good Leg have been trying to keep Evil Leg at bay for quite some time, but sometimes me and Good Leg sleep at the same time, and Evil Leg.
Because Good Leg went to sleep.
I had been on a long bus ride, and Evil Leg switched places with Good Leg, and I couldn't tell. Your Honor, I'd like to see that leg go to prison just as long just for everybody else. But don't melt it down and put it in cars, or all the cars will be evil. We gotta shoot that leg into space, Your Honor.
I just had a really sad image of him as a little kid, occasionally putting his legs on the wrong way around. It really made me feel quite upset.
At least that's what you're finally doing with those images, Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're getting better.
There's no good reason to be interested in that case. You know, all that, it says something about, the media, or that's why I'm watching this, beautiful girl get shot by a guy with no legs. No, you're watching a freak show. I think there's something as well about there's a fucked up culture that was quite interested in like beautiful women getting murdered, and the fact that they can pretend it's this. Can you imagine how much publicity that would have got if it was a black athlete had killed a black woman in South Africa? He could have killed her with a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it wouldn't have made the fucking news. I cloned this thing and I fucking I ate the bitch. A black athlete who was a disembodied head could have murdered a fucking black woman over there, and it wouldn't have got any publicity. I fucking nibbled away at her. What'd you call it? I didn't know, so I just kept nibbling, trying to hit an artery. But it's just I don't know anything about the body because I don't have one. So.
He's the best. Him and his brother make up the best bowling team in South Africa. They have been a pair for years and years and years.
Putting a lot of bend on it there by sticking his tongue out.
Yeah, get a mop on the aisle, Jesus Christ. There should be a law against this. But, nobody wants to stay poor, bodiless athlete. Nobody brings it up. I notice, though, you shouldn't be bowling your brother's disembodied head. You guys should be juggling or something. Something where no one else is competing.
His brother just died in an accident. It's not really alive, the head. It's just that he's just bowling with it, and nobody's got the heart to fucking say anything. They've got to talk away to it when he's... Ron wants a cream soda. Okay, we'll get him one.
Yeah.
What's that? You're not thirsty, Ron? Okay, I'll have it.
So, Ron, you still got that motorbike? Oh, really? No. You crashed it. Oh, I think I remember something about that. Crashed it down by the old fishing line factory.
Ron, you still hanging out with that really bad-tempered butcher?
And his hot wife you can't keep your fucking eyes off of. No, it's a whole family. So whole like there's Ron, there's Jake, there's Eddie, and they're all heads. And there's one brother who's just not a dickhead. he sort of keeps them all in a bag. Takes them down to the shore and does not make as much money as he should busking. Yeah, and then there's another brother who's got his head, and he's the manager, and everybody's like, yeah, but there's a guy over there with 4 heads, and he's juggling, and he's just sort of looking at the manager, going, "Oh,
South Africa, I really need to get out of this place. So many disembodied headaches around here. This would kill in Switzerland."
Instead of annoying us all with the world that they've fucking... That's what I don't like about it. It's like, fuck the world is. Yeah. You know how long it took to fuck it? We didn't do that. Look at us.
It was all over by like 1953.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, I was just thinking that today, too, about people that are like, legalize weed and the tax money. We said, don't give the money, the government, any more tax money. That'll lead to a shitty war. The weed wars. The war we could fought with what we made from weed. You want to tax things. You gotta fucking tax heroin or crystal meth. That's a war. That's a war. Fucking weed, we're gonna be able to mug Qatar. Which isn't the worst thing.
I miss conscription, I think that dictated against war. If we had to go to fucking war now, it's only the fact they're all paid in sort of mercenaries now, armies. But if we did to conscript us now, at least in the 70s people were kind of fit before they had a fucking corn syrup fucking enema every morning. Like, they struggle now. If I was out there, I could pretty much stop a fucking war single-handed.
Yeah. Well, slow and easy to hit has never been a good motto for an army. Slow, easy to hit. The Marines! Yeah. But of course, a lot of people think it's evil, but fucking America played to its strengths, and now it's all drone strikes. Because who better to fucking fly? These people have been in training. You could have conscription, and people wouldn't even know. They're just, have you played the newest game, Thunder in Afghanistan? Oh, yeah, it's good. The graphics are so lifelike. I just sometimes bomb weddings. I know you're not supposed to, but there's actually no rules against it. And every time you do it, it just goes blank for a while, and then it pops back up, and they ask you not to talk about it.
It turns out I'm like the Red Baron of Pakistan. What a surprise.
Oh, good, the nachos are here.
I don't know, I think China will kick their fucking ass if it comes down to that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they've got so many people they can man their drones.
There's really no need for me to be here.
No, I'm not even flying this thing.
But hey, I'm a girl, so... Here I am surfing towards some kind of civic reception on a flying bomb.
Ladies, are you all okay with this? Yeah, I guess. Better than the life they would have made us lead. Anyway.
What a fucked up country, man. We just keep hitting the hornet's nest and they keep getting angrier. We're in a war against hornets. Goddamn hornets. I'll keep hitting it till they stop. Operation Facing Termite Mound is going badly.
Send in the Marines. We're coming. Oh, can you? There's a hill, and we don't want to take it because we can't get up it.
Ron started pissing cheese. We're gonna need to wait for 5 minutes.
so we can get some nachos up here.
Yeah. Medic! I need some insulin! Stat!
Massive.
They have to put an M on their helmet so they didn't. Yeah. Yeah. They marched across the world. They were the best. They were so good at taking Krispy Kreme outlets. They would just.
That's how they ran those wars. They just say, like, theres a fucking donut shop in the middle of...
Yeah.
Have at it.
Oh, yeah, they'd starve them. They'd starve them down to 270 pounds. And then they'd say, you guys hungry again? You want to bump over the 300 mark? Well, I want you to get on your rascals and find that fucking...
Pizza Hut.
And they're just in camouflage moo-moos, just taking shots. They can't even feel, you know. Yeah, we're gonna need a bigger gun, sir. We're trying to get to their vital organs, and they have got a lot of padding. Don't shoot them in the kidneys. Those don't work. They haven't worked in years.
You're sending me to Hamburger Hill. Delicious. Who's gonna carry me there?
Yeah. Sarge, the good news is we don't need to take that hill anymore. It's not a vantage point. The platoon ate it. I know it wasn't made of hamburger. I think they had their doubts when they were halfway through, but a lot of them like jelly donuts, and they figured maybe it was a trick and that the middle was made of hamburger. So they've eaten the hill.
Get off that stretcher. You're not injured. How many times a day do I have to say this?
Be good if all those like battle reenactment people like just got into like NAM battles because they were like hooked on morphine. And they're just like, hit me!
Yeah.
3 vials in the thigh. I've been hit.
Yeah.
Like, we can't all be hit at once. There's nothing for people to watch, okay?
That guy just tried to borrow $10 off the medic. It's a long story, but if you could just see your way clear, I'm dying, so could I have $10? And could you call this number? And if a little Vietnamese guy in a shell suit shows up, just give him the money, and then he'll give me the letter from home. It's a small letter, and it's wrapped up real tight. Don't open it.
Ask Ho Chi Minh if he'll lend me his mobile phone.
we've hired an unknown lunatic to animate some of these podcasts.
I think that's the best name for him, too.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much that's what he seems to be.
Police are looking for an unknown lunatic. Why? Do they have an album?
All I know is he's called Mr. Udi Bongo. I think that's what he's called. And he's sort of cut a friend of mine's video together, but with kind of like a Muslim call to prayer and like a picture of like a goat-legged woman in it that doesn't really appear in the text. So I don't know what he's going to do with ours, but I've told him not to fuck with the words and just imply pictures and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. And I've probably climbed up to number 52 in the charts by the time we got home. So, I'm not going to need to do this much anymore, Frank. Pretty hot selling album. I don't know if you know how many you have to sell to get to number 54 on the stand-up comedy charts.
Is it just a stand-up comedy chart? I thought you were up there with fucking Taylor Swift.
No, I'm not the 54th top-selling artist.
I thought fucking it's really impressive.
But I don't think it's that hard to get your album onto iTunes. I think it's just basically you fucking put it up there and they'll sell it if it sells.
Don't listen to it to make sure it's not something, because it's like a delay. You have to give them it like 2 weeks before. What would morally horrify Apple of all people? You know?
I think if they found out you'd paid a tax ever, they just wouldn't understand why someone that dumb could make a comedy album. When U2 sold their album to Apple for $100 million.
I fucking cunt Bono is.
Oh, don't get me started on that. It's just charity for vanity, you know? Which is good, I guess, in that, like, somebody's getting something, but give me Liberace, man. That was a real fucking crazy loon. Just, you know, like, somebody's just... I don't care if you're that self-satisfied with yourself, but don't drag a starving kid into the picture with you.
Yeah, don't fake morality.
Nah.
You know? Pump a bunch of guys. Morality isn't involved. You know, get your face tighter than a fucking baseball and fuck men and get AIDS and fucking die. Don't claw your way to respectability on the backs of a pyramid of dying children.
Yeah, yeah. Like, instead of all this extracurricular activity, why don't you write some better songs? You know? Now we're just fucking... Because he's dragged all these diseased children with him everywhere he goes. We're now inflicted in hearing these horrible, horrible slices of music where if you had a little more studio time, a little less bags of rice time, and maybe I'll listen to you.
See, I don't even think it's extracurricular for them. I think, like, if they had a choice between, oh, you go on Comic Relief and it'll be on fucking prime time and it's you in a village doing this, or, you know, but that's in that writing week you've got set aside. I don't think there's a contest in their mind for whether they're going to be doing that or not, you know? They'll be out there with fucking Gary Barlow. Oh, the water's dirty.
Well, dip your head in it and go lie down for a while.
I wouldn't mind them going and living there. I wouldn't mind it like a celebrity exchange.
God, that would be wonderful. Can you imagine if we had a Somali pirate playing the part of U2?
I'm a celebrity, leave me here. And they're just like fucking in Somalia, forced into piracy. And we get a bunch of guys in romper suits who probably, you know, would be a bit sort of... bit of a fish out of water comedy initially when they came over to Britain, but nothing.
You thought there was some rape scandals now.
That's what I love about it. I love the Somali pirates, you know. The fishing's gone, so now you fish for hostages.
Yeah.
You know? You've become fishers of men, as Jesus said. You know, big business poisoned their waters, and they thought, I'm not going to take this without a rocket launcher fueled attempt to redress the balance.
Is that what happened? The water got poisoned?
Oh, a couple of things happened. So their economy got fucked up by America, and then a whole load of poisonous shit got dumped by multinationals off their coastline, so they couldn't fish anymore. So, like, piracy is an act of last resort. It's the same in Colombia. So Colombians grew, I think, maize, and it was undercutting American production, so they were kind of forced out. Colombia's secondary crop was coffee. So they brought that in after their agriculture was fucked over by America. And they grew coffee really successfully. And that was affecting American interest. And they were forced out of that. And now they grow cocaine.
So something good came from it then.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Well done, America. You see, that's the thing they never say about America. All the times where their foreign policy has done good things. We found those weapons of mass intoxication.
Like, what they really want is cocaine. So they've driven Mexico into a state where, like, people just want to fucking kill each other to deliver cocaine to them. Just can't do it fast enough. They've driven Colombia into producing cocaine, and they like to sit and take cocaine. but they like to also say, "Oh, we don't like cocaine," and that's okay. I understand that, but they're like Bono. Then they're just sort of going, "Yeah, I want money to go to Africa, and I want Africans to have decent, but at the same time, I want to keep all the money."
Yes. I'll tell you, you know what I'll do with the tax dollars? I will decide where they go. Now, I'm not great at paying them, but that's okay. I'm more of the ideas man over here. Yeah, I don't know where he thinks, like, the aid for Africa comes from when he's lobbying for it. It's like, like, it's taxes, right, Bono? Shut up. Edge, play that little jangly thing. We're going to sing a song now.
The Edge. Never trust anyone who comes up with their own nickname, I think.
Right.
Or retains a fucking nickname.
He wouldn't have got that in the British Army.
The cunt. One of the 4 cunts.
Why was he called the cunt? Well, he tried to call himself the Edge.
He didn't have a hat, so he's not the cunt in the hat or the cunt that plays the drums. Is there another cunt, or is there only 3 of the cunts? He's just a cunt.
Yeah, specky cunt. There he is. Looks like a fucking bug. Drum cunt. Other cunt who nobody ever remembers. That's his whole nickname.
He was actually called Oh No. Because we fucking hated to see him coming.
Yeah.
So much that we couldn't think of any swear words. And also, we thought his musical effects was much like that of Yoko Ono on the Beatles.
That's what you get when you combine. We used to call them Beatles and Ono. And then we didn't have enough time because we were under attack. And I went, Bono!
All right, man, should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Go get the boy. That sounded bad. Go pick my kid up from school, I mean. These fucking comedians.
Let's go play BBC in the 50s. That's why they had a circular building so the kids couldn't get away. Did we get that? Hold on. Did you get that?
That's why Jimmy Savile ran those marathons.
Just somewhere in time, there's a psychedelic elephant watching a kid just run in circles. And then around the 5th lap, Savile, that's when he pulls. It's called the Savile, where he just stops. Hears him coming. Yeah, he goes into his favorite dressing room, and then the kid just takes a door to the face, and all you see is a leg getting dragged into a dressing room. And at that point,
The elephant
Jim
wishes he could forget. I have to remember all of this.
yeah.
I'm a sentient universe within an elephant, and I get nicknamed Dumbo. Don't blame us, mate. It's just it was a movie, right? Don't fucking get upset about it.
No, you're right. They are big, but I guess I'll just see you on the dark side of the moon.
A couple of legal disclaimers before we go. Bill Cosby hasn't been formally charged with anything, has he?
Oh, well, I don't honestly think he did it.
Okay.